fucking song.
It is just a banger.
That's how you start your new year.
Climbing a who's that?
A little track we like to call, and not we, someone who wrote it, literally loves to call. Who's that climbing that tree? And this is Who's That Climbing That Tree 2.
Dose.
First one is a mess, in my opinion. Third one is a combination of the two, but the second one is
Right in the middle. Perfect.
good spot.
Perfect porridge, if you will.
This this week's television was good. It was very good. Not great, and not even very, very good, but just damn, that was good TV.
If you're gonna compare it to weeks past, it got better equally.
Yeah. Well, SmackDown was good. Really
Always good, but.
And Raw held its own this week and was good in its own ways. And then obviously, had low points. But anyways, starting off right away, Kurt is backstage with Alexa. We do like a pre-show start, and that's cool actually, because I don't know,
you feel like you're on the inside.
But at the same time, it's on TV, so you're like, damn, I should be watching this.
Yep.
Because that's the thing about a lot of the network and WWE.com exclusive stuff. It's all just there. So it's like you gotta, as a serious fan, you pretty much just gotta come across it in your own time. You can't really keep up with all of it because they're already giving you like 7 hours of television a week.
Yeah,
and that's
seriously.
if you're watching other companies. So anyways, then Kurt's music hits and comes out. They're doing a whole Happy New Year thing. We were talking about it before the show. This is probably the only time that you're going to find a back-to-back holiday episode. And not even probably, like, it just is the only time. I don't see how that could happen otherwise.
Well, yeah.
When's Vince's birthday? Is it close to any holidays?
I mean,
because I feel like that'll probably get treated the same kind of way.
Oh yeah, there'll be a whole like
if there was
set.
an on-screen type thing.
there'll be a whole set dedicated. It's like
get rid of the ring.
He just does his own thing. We're gonna do something real different for my birthday.
XFL in the arena. Tell him it's Raw. Won't know the difference. Anyways, this is going to be a big Raw. Alexa Bliss is wrestling Asuka. First time, non-title match. Brock is back. Actually, yeah, that's sorry. They do show the not empty, but just like the non-started Raw arena first. Yeah. Then they show Alexa because I'm only coming back to that because it's really cool because Kurt's music hits from backstage. As again, our pre-show conversation you pointed out to me, which I kind of didn't notice when I first watched it because I was in the shower listening to this part. I got a lot of wrestling to watch this week. So Kurt comes out. He's saying that this has been one of the best years of his career. In specific, becoming Raw general manager. He says, "Welcome to Monday Night Raw," to start the whole thing off.
Yeah, he gotta get everyone going. Gotta get everyone a little fire in their step.
Wouldn't it be the worst thing maybe to be reoccurring? Because Daniel Bryan makes it semi-reoccurring on SmackDown Live, and at least every time he comes out and starts the show, and maybe that's it. Maybe that's the middle ground.
Maybe he needs to be
having but maybe that's exactly. If Kurt comes out and starts the show, then you hear.
If anything, it makes
Raw.
sense because he's the
general manager.
He comes out and he goes, "Hey, welcome to my thing that I'm
for sure,
putting
dude,
on right now."
And I bet that is the thought behind it. I don't think we're just.
I just don't think
cracking the code here.
I think
but they ought to be more consistent with it. It should be his thing as much as it's damn true is his thing, right? When he came back. Yeah. So, anyways, Kurt comes out. He's interrupted by the bar. They're very angry. Sheamus calls the crowd Muppets. Good stuff. They're upset. Say they've been robbed. That Jason Jordan and Seth Rollins, that first-time team, didn't deserve a tag title opportunity. Booker T later in the night is going to agree with them. Spoiler, everyone. Booker T is bad at his job.
That's also a reoccurring thing with us. Is just every week we're just gonna say how bad Booker T is until
every now and then I will say Booker T sometimes isn't the worst. That's my compliment to him. Sometimes
there's always
a
Michael Cole. There's always a Michael Cole.
Michael Cole is not the doctor. But anyways, the bar comes out. Jason Jordan comes out and gives a pretty awesome promo. Like, definitely walking the heel line, but
probably his best promo so far.
Doing a good job opposing the bar still because he definitely is coming more off as like the arrogant little brother to Seth in a good way. Like Seth is the veteran, and Jordan needs to.
They're playing a line with him, and I like it. It's cool.
Yeah, with Seth coming out and
for each of them really, because they're both coming off kind of arrogant and pricky, but they're still
at this part in
the situation.
At this part of the show, but Seth overall is definitely he's a babyface. There's no doubt about that.
Absolutely.
But definitely at this part of the show, he has some heel dialogue. He says he's come out to only watch him lose. On the note of dialogue, excuse me, sorry, Cesaro has a much thinner, or maybe he's just that much closer to full recovery or something, but his mouthpiece is just not affecting his speech as much.
Yep.
And that's awesome.
Hear a whole lot clear, and I like it, because he's. I've always loved when they gave him the mic and let him, run, and now you can understand him a little better.
Great talker, smart guy, and the accent thing, as shown with Shinsuke, even if they don't do it the right way with him, but as shown with Shinsuke and Asuka, and I don't know, anyone that I'm forgetting with an accent, Rusev when he does stuff.
Even now, Rusev now, the more mic, he's always been on the mic, but now more so. He's
he's getting real comfortable. But anyways, I'm just saying the accent doesn't have to affect the promo reception. If you're good at it, you're good at it. So the bar is particularly upset that Kurt celebrated with Jordan, but Jordan comes out. I just forgot to make a note of that before. Yeah. Jordan comes out, cuts a good promo, says that he's going to because he didn't earn his tag title shot, he does a little play on words, says to Cesaro he's going to earn himself another trip to the dentist with that reconstructed mouth. What does he say?
He says if you don't stop running that he goes, if you don't stop running that refurbished mouth, he'll earn himself a trip back to the dentist.
Right. Awesome.
Which is, I mean, like I said, that's probably the best mic work he's done as of date.
And I think it's a good line between wrestling talk and real life talk, because it's not that out there. It's well said, but somebody could say that, so I like it. It's awesome promo, and that's rare for me to be saying about Jason Jordan, because normally I only like his in-ring stuff, but this is good. Seth comes out, says I'm only going to watch you lose, because Kurt says that they're doing a singles match, Jason Jordan and Cesaro. Seems kind of random when it's announced. Doesn't seem like what was going to be announced. But at the same time, obviously it makes total sense. It's what they always do in a build situation with tag teams. And
yeah, they do the single on single.
Well, and it makes total sense in this situation because the one team isn't entirely trusting or on the same page as this clearly is.
And more so during the promo, besides Sheamus immediately coming out, Cesaro and Jason were the core of the promos.
That's true. So, yeah, because he says the thing about the match. I guess just watching live, it wasn't something I entirely picked up on.
Yeah, at first I expected a tag rematch if I was to be asked.
Yeah, or some kind of brawl, or maybe they each get an extra guy, 6-man tag. And I'm not complaining. I'm saying typical WWE writing. I just actually didn't think this was happening this week. Maybe next week. Yeah. But anyways, this match was fucking great.
It's amazing. Bunch of we're two wrestlers going at it. That's what I liked about it.
Real wrestling match. Told the story with the leg. Cesaro wrenched the single leg crab. He dropped him on a modified. I don't even know. I guess it's kind of like a sidewalk slam on the apron, but he really just focused on dropping him on his bent knee. All the work in the later half of the match was the left knee from Cesaro to Jordan, and man, that was really cool. Jordan winds up getting the win. How was that? I can't remember.
Sheamus actually gets a cheap shot on Jordan, and then he goes to do it again. Cesaro sets him up for another cheap shot, and then Rollins attacks Sheamus, takes Sheamus out, and then that distraction leads to Jordan hitting his finisher on Cesaro.
Okay, that's what I thought. He hits his finish.
He hits his finisher. That's his more so. That's how he's been getting his wins, which makes a whole lot more sense nowadays.
Yeah, that's good. It's
good. And it's a cool finisher. I like it.
Yep. Cesaro.
Do they have a name for it right now? I don't.
I mean, it's just confused. Kind of it's like an inverted. It's like a backbreaker neck break.
Yeah, I just more so wonder if they have been giving it a name for him yet. That's all.
I guess like a twisting neck breaker.
Yeah, it's cool though. Either way, I like it, and more so, he's gotten it on Cesaro a few times, so that's, I guess, something to be kind of noted.
I could be talking about the wrong move, but I think in WWE they might call it an alley-oop. I'm not sure. Anyways, because they have some of their own names for
they have their own lingo sometimes.
Match is really good, and later on the night we're going to see Jordan and Seth brought back up. We'll get to that when we get to that, but it's just worth noting now that it's good to see them focusing on the production and the order of the production of the show.
Yeah.
For another week in a row. So stories furthered and all the kind of stuff you're supposed to see on a wrestling show happening thus far. What was right after that? You gotta remind me.
You got the big dog saying he punked out the Joe Dog.
Right, he punked him out, which he didn't. He beat him up, and I'm not saying he shouldn't have beat him up. I'm just saying that's punking out is a different thing. It doesn't matter. But What was right after that?
Bray.
Oh wait,
and
I'm
Apollo.
sorry. Yeah, before Bray and Apollo, Roman hopes he can follow the rules.
Yeah.
Doesn't sound very invested in that hope or the promo as a whole, other than maybe the punking out part, which again is inaccurate in my opinion. But the latter half of the promo, like especially that little tag that's supposed to be, was just super deflated and lame. It was just like, I'm gonna beat him tonight within the rules. I hope.
Well, it just feels like
right.
you're basically being told like some kind of twist is gonna happen where Roman ends up breaking the rules on accident, but somehow they switch that.
I don't know if it's that. Like, I don't.
Like
I
I said,
don't
I
like
could be.
no. If you think it's
always.
that, I'm not saying that it's wrong. I don't. In my opinion, it's not that. I think it's supposed to be like, oh man, is Roman gonna get him? He's such a hothead. But it's just like that's not the impression that I got from last week. He was physical and that's awesome, but I don't know. Whatever. Moving on. It doesn't matter. It just I just thought that it was lame, less lame than his other promos, if that's something. Bray and Apollo was not on Hulu Raw, but I remember hearing from you about it and reading about it. Bray obviously gets the win. Love Apollo. I have something to say about him after we were done talking about Raw. Him and Sheamus, actually.
Yeah.
But this leads to Matt Hardy on the Titantron promo. If it still can be called the Titantron, kind of isn't that?
It's like I think that was more of a time.
The Megatron, the flat Wavetron.
It's like Mega Desk,
million.
but multiple Titantrons.
It really is dope in
yeah.
its own. I like SmackDown's more, but I love both. Anyways, so Matt's on there. He's doubling up. Screens are doubling up, laughing. You told me the audio doubled up as well?
Yeah, like it starts to kind of like overlap each other and, get like a little...
Like that right amount of
overbearing.
annoying where it's awesome.
Yeah, especially with his laugh, so you can hear the laugh doubling as well.
Did it end with the...
he actually holds his mouth open and like he's waiting for it, and it pans to Bray, and Bray like kind of does a weird little thing, and it actually just cuts to the Woken thing. So he doesn't do the bite, but you think he is because it's like waiting for it.
That's cool.
Yeah, it was cool.
He had an awesome interaction with Drew Gulak on Twitter where Gulak was telling him he's spelling things wrong, and Matt said I don't want to misquote what year he said, but he said he's speaking from the dialect of the year 3000 and something. Oh man, Matt Hardy's just fucking awesome.
The world he is in to create this character and the words he is saying is something that like I don't even think George Lucas could do in Star Wars, because this man is on another planet.
He's like low key too, like putting Gulak on Twitter, because a lot of people who know Matt Hardy don't necessarily know Drew Gulak, so that's very cool.
Exactly, and they have perfect like someone like that going at it, especially in words. Would be
it's like literally
brilliant.
like yin and yang. They just or yin and yang. Yin and yang. I think Megan told me recently. There's no G on that, and I really said it wrong. No, yeah.
Well, shows how smart
Don't say, "Oh, really?" You should have said it is, and you would have at least looked smarter than me.
No, see, I don't need that kind of.
You don't need that kind of credibility.
Yeah, I don't need it.
Okay, so Asuka and Alexa's next.
Yes, Asuka and Alexa.
Which is good. Next. Alexa looks terrified coming out. Asuka does her awesome Asuka stuff on the way. Her robe is so cool, and Asuka is just so cool. Good match. Don't want to call it competitive, but it's just not a total squash. Alexa trying to smack Asuka versus Asuka smacking the shit out of Alexa. Yeah. It's just like pales in comparison, and I'm not saying that critically. I think it's just awesome.
I think it's supposed to look that way.
Alexa is not looking weak at the same time. She's clearly not a match for Asuka, but she's not.
The match went the distance, but Alexa wasn't very offensive during it. But it's still she didn't. Well, and
it can
bad.
because it can go much farther. It went the distance for what it was. It will go farther if they go the WrestleMania route with this. Which, for the record, I'm going to go on the record with two things. One is a guess. Opinion, whatever, and then or rather, one is a guess, the other is an opinion. I would like, if they go this way, Asuka, Alexa, WrestleMania, Asuka winning the Royal Rumble, that is. I would like Asuka to tap out Alexa, but I would like her to do so with either an armbar or somehow the Asuka lock, reversing a twisted bliss off the top rope. I think that it would be curb stomp into an RKO quality pop.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
That could really, really do what they have been trying to do. And not saying they're not doing it successfully, because they are, especially with the talent they have in ring now, and just overall. I just think it would really equate the two divisions or whatever you want to separate them by. The other opinion being, and Eric, feel free to chime in if you want to interrupt me on the guess, by all means, but on the opinion, feel free to chime in. The other opinion being, I don't think Ronda Rousey, if she were to debut at the Women's Rumble, which I don't think is a bad idea, I don't think she needs to win there.
I saw most people saying that they. Oh, actually, I think it was Meltzer who said he doesn't. I think he said that she needs to win. There's no other way around it if Rousey.
Okay, but I'm not necessarily saying about her individual booking.
Yeah.
I'm just personally saying I don't think there's anything wrong with Asuka winning it and it being as cookie cutter as she goes after the champion that she just made tap out in January, which I like to personally refer to as the snack season of WWE's champions, or at the very least the WrestleMania outcomes. Don't get me wrong, every now and then you get a little twist, but at the very least for what they have planned, you generally can see the beginning blueprints in January, and I just don't think there's anything wrong with an Asuka Alexa face heel, unstoppable face, scared heel program.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't have to even ultimately end there. You can bring it back in the future. You can continue it right from there to SummerSlam. It could probably go that long.
My only question, more so, I guess, since you brought it up, her winning the Rumble, if she doesn't, does that affect the streak? Does that count?
Yes, in my opinion,
because it's a loss.
Because it's a match and it's an important match, and in this case,
I believe so too. I'm just more so seeing if it's
if
it's something that if she, but more so to me, if she gets in the match, that means, or if I'm thinking of it, she has to win. If not, you're kind of killing this story that is pretty pinnacle.
I don't think it's killed, but it's affected, and this is really what I have to say about it to cap off and move on. Because, like I just said, we know that Asuka beats Alexa here.
Yeah.
She makes her tap, which is great. But if she wins the Rumble, she has to beat 29 people. She's undefeated for 2+ years.
So 29 people doesn't seem that
she's
insane.
beat way more, and I understand it's all at once, or more than it's at least half of them all at once if she's in there at a low number or something like that. But the bottom line is, it's Asuka. She's better than Goldberg.
Now,
she wins.
Yeah. Now, do you think, I know we're trying to move on, but the Rumble, you think they're going to go for long term, maybe letting number 1 or 2 go the distance? Or are you just going to...
Hell yeah. Yo, do
you think,
that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Let Asuka go 1 or 2 and let it rip. Yeah. Let her rip. That way you're doing the first Women's Royal Rumble.
She earned it.
She's breaking records within that Rumble itself. It would just be perfect.
Absolutely do that, in my opinion. And this is my
and it's
to
believable.
Really cap off and move on from at least right now the Women's Rumble point until we talk about SmackDown later. I'm not saying Rousey just loses. I'm not especially saying it comes down to her and Asuka beats her. I'm saying she gets screwed by, I don't know, the 4 horsewomen who they're trying to set her up with.
Absolutely.
And maybe, I don't know,
that
because that's a mixed brand match, maybe that's how you get Bayley and Sasha involved in the storyline in the first place, if they are going to be involved on SmackDown. Because again, Raw's program in the big championship picture way, or championship holders' involvement at WrestleMania, at least if Charlotte's going to be in a non-title match, is there's nothing wrong with Asuka and Alexa, and I guess that is the reason Meltzer said. I'm realizing now that's why Meltzer's saying it the other way. If Rousey wins, she goes after Charlotte, and that's a huge match. Yeah. So okay, obviously nothing wrong with that. I just think Asuka should win the Rumble. That's all I'm trying to say in short. Asuka's so dominant, and I just love. I'm a huge fan of. I love everything about her. Her entrance, her imagery.
And it's also hard though, because you send her. Technically, if you sent Asuka either way, if she was on SmackDown or Raw, I'd still have even though I want her to win and she is so dominant, I would still believe. No,
she should get beat at some point.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Even more so, like someone like Alexa, I could see her beating her. And someone like Charlotte, if it was the other way around and she wasn't on
that's
Raw.
Why I said don't even end it. I'm not proposing this is a one and done at WrestleMania.
Oh, absolutely, no.
I say go to SummerSlam and Alexa gets her and vice versa in its own way, just in the sense that they're totally different, but they could work together. It could be a Trish.
Whoever does it, it'll be big for whoever it is.
Yeah,
I think they'll make it a big deal.
Hulu Raw goes to Joe Reigns next. Is that correct?
Joe Reigns. The match
package. No,
the package. Yes, it goes to the package. I'm sorry.
And then Joe's awesome promo. Forgive me. Backstage.
Oh yeah.
Where he just fully clears that there's no gray area on whether or not we can be addressing Renee and Dean as together. on air and what married at that. He says that, as you noted, again, pre-show conversation that we had, you really like the because thing.
The because thing. He said because of Joe or because of me, the Shield isn't champions together, and because
can't be
of
champions
me,
together. We'll never be champions together. Is what he said. He said because of me, Dean Ambrose is a stay-at-home dad living off his wife's paycheck. And the crowd popped. Renee popped, which she didn't really react 2 weeks ago or a week ago, whenever he said, "Oh, Dean can be home with the ones he loves for the holidays," which super smart fans or even just basic smart fans knew that he was referencing Renee, but the people who go with their families, they didn't necessarily know. And again, Renee didn't react a week or two ago, so this was really clearly like a storyline shift thing. Dean's not planning to come back till August or November, but who knows? It could just be planting the seeds for it now, because time does fly. That's for sure.
Literally.
Not literally. Time does not literally fly.
Well,
I wish.
No, it does.
Watch that.
I'm using the word
12 o'clock is soaring.
I'm using the word in the most literal definition ever, and this is on the internet, so you know it's true.
That's a very strong point. And speaking of strong, we go to Braun,
the big strongest man.
So a big, quick stoppage in the program, in your regularly scheduled program, because the ring announcer, as well as the TV commentary, which, by the way, guys, especially because this is Monday Night Raw, but also in general, don't have any kind of communication with each other. So it's not like they both were like, "Oh yeah." There's some kind of mishap.
I'm sure the
here.
title panel guy isn't talking to the commentators.
I'm personally kind of sure, or at least guessing at, it's probably based off of my confusion as well. Heath Slater's music hitting again.
Yeah.
As I've mentioned when we've talked about it before, I don't think Rhino has a song for WWE. I'm not saying I have a problem, because I like their their random tag team thing, and it's a thing for both of them to do. I don't have a problem with him coming out to Heath's song, but the ring announcer right away goes, being accompanied by Rhino. Heath.
Yeah, it leads you to
Slater.
believe that.
No. Hold on. Then Corey Graves on commentary, I believe. I could be misquoting, but I'm pretty damn sure it goes, Rhino looking to furthering his toughening up. This wasn't exact dialogue, but something like his
like showing Heath,
like trying to toughen up Heath Slater in this matchup. But then as he finished saying that, so he's literally like co-signing, yup, this is Heath Slater with Rhino, not Rhino with Heath Slater.
Yeah.
Then the nameplate pops up, and again, the commentators, they're told to watch the screen, especially on Raw. They see the same stuff we do.
That's what those tiny TVs are for, people.
So they go right from there, like from their confusion to, oh, okay, it's Rhino, it's him. But just until they got in the ring and stuff, it was just weird. Like Heath was even on the apron at certain points, and like it basically at the end just turned into like it was a squash situation, obviously, and it honestly, I liked it for what it was. It was a good squash match.
How it turned out, I enjoyed it.
But it was just because of that actual confusion before the match, it made stuff that shouldn't ever be confusing sort of confusing at the end, for at least the casual fan, in that Heath was in the ring, he was on the apron, and then really, and this is no complaints, but it's just worth noting, in the same filed complaint, if you will, oh my God, he fucking slammed Heath Slater so many times.
Oh,
yeah, that's right. All the in-ring stuff he did with Heath, other than slamming him, happened in the middle of the match, and there's no disqualification.
Yep.
Oh my God.
Whatever. It's really you have a show that's been running about longer than anything on television ever. The world of technology is so far ahead in advance. Like, there's no reason you should be messing up like this.
Yeah, it's unbelievable.
But I don't run a television
but
show.
It is only unbelievable to a squash match's degree. So it was what it was. The really highlight of the match is post-match. Crowd is super into Braun. They beg him one more time. Only 2 or 3 more times. He does all 2 or 3. I'm sorry. He hits Rhino for the finish with the running power slam, which I love. British Bulldog, like, throwback.
Yeah.
But on top of that, I think he hits Rhino with a second one.
He hits Rhino with a second. I think he hits Slater with at least 3 or 4, at least.
I think it was 5. I really think it might have been 5, because he fucking, first time he picked him up, he held him up there, and he's like looking like he's breathing because he's holding obviously a full grown man on his shoulder, but he looks like it's really no big deal.
I mean, just kind of isn't.
He runs. He uses his shoulder. That's what I really like about his running power slam. He uses his shoulder to kind of spike the guy into the mat, like
he makes it look good.
Yeah, dude, that shit is awesome. So then they're chanting one more time, and Rhino is a genius. He immediately starts selling and pulling himself up the ropes. ECW, just, I don't know. That's the kind of stuff that even if when the wrestling was way sloppier than today's wrestling, because obviously today's in-ring stuff is better than probably ever before, at least at a large scale.
It's just experience just shining.
Yeah, Rhino just looked like a vet there. So yeah, he gets hit with a second one there. Then he goes back to Heath, and people are like, hell yeah, like, one more time. But even when they stopped chanting one more time, and Braun just kind of went on to be like, I'm just going to slam this motherfucker.
Everyone's like,
people
fuck yeah.
They were still into it. And I feel like WWE nowadays, even sometimes with Brock, going to the end of the show with Kane as a good reference, I feel. Sometimes when the crowd just knows it's not a worthy opponent, they're not really buying it. With this, Braun is just hot right now. And he's the right kind of good guy. I'm not saying he's like Stone Cold, people. I'm just saying Stone Cold likeness of this guy's not doing good things. He doesn't give a shit.
Being in that position, if you will.
Yeah, and but people love him because he's when
and more so it's Slater and Rhino who have always had like a comical background, so it's fun to watch them get beat up because they are the comical guys.
Yeah, it's fun. I mean, not to mention they show a Royal Rumble. I'm sorry if you can hear that siren in the background. But not to mention they show a Royal Rumble preview. So you think the segment is over, and this is all on Hulu Raw for the record. Yeah. So you know that this is purposeful. We believe in this guy right now. And if anything, it's probably to recover from the fact that he's gonna lose in this triple threat. He hits Rhino with a third one when they come back from the Royal Rumble preview. I forgot about that. They give you a
preview and said, "Oh, by the way, he's still beating the piss out of these men."
They go back to Heath. He pulls the straps down. No, he doesn't even pull the strap downs yet. Yeah, so dude, he hit him with at least 4, and he hit Rhino with 3. That's 7. That's fucking crazy. So anyways,
no one's complaining.
We got to move on now. But yeah, that's nobody cares. Nobody cares in a negative way. They're all like, "Wow, that's great." Especially the ones he hits on Heath. He just runs in a full circle around the ring. It's just so good. We go to Big Dog backstage. It's going to be Year of the Beast apparently. Raw tonight. It's previewed, but we go to Big Dog backstage. Really like this backstage segment, especially for a Roman Reigns segment, but just overall, Intercontinental Championships hanging in the locker. I like that. Good little touch. Jason Jordan coming in, very annoying heel type interjection, ending with believe that. He says some shit like, "We got your back if the bar interferes. Believe that." And it's good.
I think it hit really well. And honestly, if it was me, I'm thinking it's a very good touch onto Angle's old annoying promo type things where he would do something like that, especially with a Stone Cold. I feel that was a good touch.
Don't even credit the story that much, but it is that still.
I don't think there's. You know what I mean? I don't think they're good enough to do that, but it felt like it.
But I think that's the same vein and the same kind of execution in that he did and success with it in that Jordan. I'm not disagreeing with that comparison at all, but don't credit.
Yeah, they definitely didn't mean to do that. It just worked out that way.
So that's good stuff. Roman Reigns' weird, thickly pinstripe shirt in the locker is uncomfortable. We got Braun walking backstage. He's very tired because he just lifted a truck's amount of weight between 2 men.
Especially the Rhino.
Yes,
big man.
A large dude.
Wide
thigh
man.
Is the size of my body. Kane approaches him. He's clearly going to be the wuss heel in this situation. He basically, says what every wuss heel says in this situation. Let's team up. Let's take him out together. Nothing really wrong with it in this situation because, again, Kane is there to do the job. And this is just further building up Braun because it ends with him saying he's taking out Brock on his own terms. And then they just literally fade out.
And even more so, it gives more forward progression to such an aggressive face. I like that.
Oh, yeah, no problem with it at all.
He's a big guy.
It doesn't fade out. Kane walks away.
Yeah.
Right. Then it fades out to Kurt. He's on his phone. It's off. Okay, it's television. What are you going to do? He's having some kind of very real conversation, obviously. Finn Balor comes in. Fantastic. He what does he say, Eric?
He enters himself. Well, he basically says, the first Universal Champion, what way to get back to That's such right. by entering himself in the Rumble and winning, being very confident and such, which, it's a nice little touch considering he never really got much of
great potential candidate for the reason you were just saying. I only interrupted you because I agree.
Yeah.
Great potential candidate to win the Royal Rumble. Could make it feel like, wow, that was important.
And even more so, adding a touch like let's be realistic. Finn wins, he goes after Brock, and maybe the big dog happens to be involved with that as well. 3-way match.
Yeah, and then the Good Brothers are on the apron to help, to get rid of Paulie. But I guess I just kind of spoiled it. I mean, you have obviously, if you're listening to this, which you aren't, but if you are, you've seen it and you know already. The Good Brothers walk up because Kurt says Finn's going to be in a 6-man tag. He needs to find partners. Finn says if it wasn't these two, it would be a couple of nerds. And so that was good. I like that a lot.
I liked it because it more so if you noticed,
pumped
like
up.
everyone looks pumped. They all get to use their own like shticks, if you will. They get to do the nerd thing. They get to be the club. Finn still gets to be the obvious like.
Well, and it kind of, I guess,
guy.
in a way, it kind of like turns those two.
Yeah.
Because
and I was
they
noticing
really were.
that.
They were heel. You know what I mean?
They were
heel.
They were they were helping. The not the authority, but like they were helping.
They did
that
like
side
one.
of
They
things.
did like one job for the authority.
Yeah.
And I remember I got so excited. I was like, they should do
Yeah.
that, and they never did it again.
Yeah, and then
Same,
they started
same
doing
thing with Kevin
stuff
Owens
like
and Samoa
that.
Joe that
Exactly.
one time.
Yeah, you
Anyways.
get really pumped for it, but either way, they got to keep the thing. But
On that note, now we're at Big Dog Joe, right? Hulu is at least.
I believe after that you're coming to Big Dog Joe. No disqualification.
Really good match. No, that's not it.
Yeah, it is.
No, it's not. If Roman gets disqualified, he loses the title. That's the match.
Oh well, okay. Technically, yeah, it's
There's disqualification.
Yeah,
it's just
there's
a bend on the
disqualification,
rule.
but
it's
if he-
probably all building to a no disqualification at the
Yeah.
pay-per-view. Hopefully.
well, yeah.
And then Joe gets his win.
How
There's
does-
no DQ and it'll be dirty.
Yeah, I guess so.
It's disqualification, dude. It's just that if
No.
Roman normally
I'm
is
just more so
disqualified,
thinking about the future part of it. How does Joe get the? Yeah, it's no disqualification if that happens.
whoever he cheats somehow. I don't know. He beats that.
Lies, cheats, and steals. I guess.
Yeah, he does a little shimmy, I guess. But no, it's a really good match. Watch it if you didn't. I don't know why you wouldn't, but it's great. False finishes. Personally, just because I don't like Roman Reigns and I love Joe, wish he wouldn't have just speared and pinned him clean. Totally get it. And booking standpoint, it's awesome. Babyface just beats him. Joe is such a heel, begging him to. That's why he's begging him to finish him with the stairs because he gets CQ'd, he wins a belt.
Yeah,
So,
he was like, and the commentators actually pointed on it. And the one time they did pretty good with, he's asking him to do it, so he gets DQ'd and
right. And then remember, do the play on will the ref DQ him or not because
Yep.
Joe pushed him in, and now that's Joe's excuse or crutch, or if you're a Joe fan, that's Joe's reason for getting screwed. Moving forward, and that's good stuff. You got to know it's going to continue for that. He even he went on to tweet robbed.
yeah.
So
He's gonna keep that going.
it ain't over yet. So that's good. Really good match. Roman looked great in this match.
He did. He really did.
Let's see what happened after that.
You had Heyman watching the match
That's
backstage.
right. Paulie dangerously backstage with the only Olympic gold medalist, Kurt Angle. His bent knees are featured. Paul's lack of a ponytail is featured.
Yep.
It's an all-star cast, but it's an awesome quick segment. Year of the Beast. Do we go right to John Cena's tweet? Even though I know they mentioned it in the beginning of the show, but just right after that, in regular TV version, we go right to John Cena's tweet,
I believe so.
and then shortly after Elias, I believe, right?
Well, full TV. You have
right.
the Gulak. You have the Gulak reading the note from Enzo. Further solidifying him.
He's the man. Said a couple of haters.
Being very literal with the words. Definitely awesome with the way he sells things. But solidifying the fact that Enzo's not there.
Saw that online. That's right. Enzo is sick. We'll get into 205 later, but it opens with his sickness. So then that was a tag match, right? Gulak and Daivari.
He ends up having Cedric Goldust for Gulak and Daivari.
That's right. And they're going to follow up on that in 205 as well, so we can just talk about it more extensively
just talk about it then.
Especially because it wasn't in the Hulu one, and I don't have shit on it other than what I saw on Twitter.
It wasn't. It was just about the same. They kind of replayed it on 205.
There was a cool play on Twitter of saying Goldust clearly doesn't oblige by Gulak's no-fly zone rules. I just thought it was cool that directly linking those two would be a good singles match in my opinion. Seeing Goldust live in this comeback era for however long it's going to last, seemingly forever right now. But seeing live, which we've done together, and then also individually, it's something else. If you don't already appreciate Goldust for what he is, or if you only appreciate him for what he once was, which is something different than now and awesome in itself, you need to see Goldust now live because he's great.
They pick at that no fly thing only, I think, because Goldust hits a big like crossbody.
Yeah, that's what I saw on Twitter. Right. Okay,
cool.
so clear. You know what? It's not just Twitter stuff. It's clearly like not an angle, but it's something. Maybe it is an angle. I don't know.
Yeah.
I didn't listen on 205. I only watched. Then we saw Elias sang a song. Mizraj came out with a series of percussion instruments. I think it was bad though, right? It was really bad.
Okay, this is what I think
the whistle was really bad.
They actually messed it up. Bo, I believe, really messed it up and didn't know what he was doing. But
I think is that on purpose though? I think that's on purpose.
This is what I think it might have been on purpose because more so, even Sean noted when we were watching it, he actually likes it when they do songs and it's really bad. Because if I'm gonna watch them do a song and it's obviously gonna be bad, make it real.
No, there's nothing wrong with it being bad. I actually wanted to have the conversation with you that you were just trying to start with.
But his facial features made it look like he might have actually just messed up. Bo's
I don't know. I'm gonna lean towards that on purpose.
It's funny
because these guys are so invested in what they're doing. I can't see why they'd mess it up. But they do tell us Miz is returning next week. Oh, that's a nitpick I have at this Raw as a whole. The Miz is mentioned earlier. He's mentioned here. Nothing wrong with that. He won Rolling Stones Wrestler of the Year.
Was it Wrestler of the Year or was it Superstar of the Year?
See, that's funny. It's so funny you pose that question. If you watched Monday Night Raw, it was definitely Superstar of the Year because they made sure to let you know it's Superstar and there's no wrestlers. But I'm literally in the process. Maybe you can even hear my big-ass old keyboard. I'm in the process of pulling up the Miz's Twitter right now because he's got it pinned. And I'm pretty goddamn sure. Here we go. I'm done saying I'm pretty goddamn sure. I'm trying to be positive. God damn it. Now that he's returning, he took it off. Oh, here we go. WWE Wrestler of the Year, The Miz. Dude, Here we go. I am about to fucking go off. If Rolling Stone, do you understand the success of Rolling Stone? It surpasses the success of WWE, in case you were wondering. At least in terms of a pop culture reference sake.
And more so.
Even if WWE has more money, has made more money in the past in certain competitive, whatever. I am telling you right now, from fucking little kids, like 5-year-old kids, to people on their deathbeds, you said, Rolling Stone, no one would be like, what?
Yeah.
Certain people between that giant age range I just said, you'd say WWE, and they'd go, What? So with that fucking said, if Rolling Stone says that The Miz is the WWE Wrestler of the Year, which he isn't, but let's just say they say he is because they did. And obviously, in his own way, he really is. For his own career's sake, he is. But I'm just saying, in the grand scheme of awesome wrestling this year, AJ Styles is the WWE Wrestler of the Year.
Absolutely.
There's no doubt about that. And Wrestler of the Year is fucking Kenny Omega, or obviously, easily ahead of that, Okada. Okada's been champion for over a year.
Like seriously, let's put it like.
But
even
this is
fandom aside, how is Okada not the everything of the year?
This is WWE
True.
Wrestler of the Year. I'm looking at it right now. So with that said,
all right,
open up the show and mention Miz.
No question.
Absolutely. But that's we can as always we can have a separate episode about what's undeserved and this or that. Early in the show, Michael Cole says Superstar of the Year. I cringe. I'm like, whatever. Bo Dallas, in the middle of the ring in this segment with Elias, says Superstar of the Year.
Yeah.
Dude, I get that it's a job, and obviously I'm not saying these guys should do outside of what they're told, because it's what they're told and that's it, but you're telling me, Bo Dallas, you looked your dad and your brother Bray Wyatt in the face, who went on to do the same as you, in that your dream was to be a superstar one day? You didn't grow up saying, man, I want to be a wrestler. Hulk Hogan wasn't a wrestler.
Yeah.
Like, Jesus Christ, man. Hey, remind me, what followed this fucking segment, this stupid segment? That, again, I didn't hate, because you're right. If you're going to do it bad, do it really bad. They're heels, it's fine, but I'm just hot over it with the superstar thing. Piss me off. But just remind me, what was right after that? What was that? Oh, a wrestling match.
Yeah, a real wrestling match with some
Who was featured in that match? Oh, a bunch of wrestlers. That's right, Elias, a former indie wrestler who tried out for WWE 4 times before getting his shot. That's a wrestler.
Yeah.
Luke Gallows, who had his shot as a dummy, for lack of a better word, and then a replica of another guy, only to get a good run and then get let go, reinvent himself with one of the best guys who never even got his shot, even though he's from the States and has a good look and an awesome move. And then they're centerpieced around arguably one of the top 3 best wrestlers in the world, top 5 at least, in Finn Balor.
If not getting hurt would be up there in that AJ Styles realm of the wrestler of the year.
Curtis Axel is the son of Mr. Perfect, grandson of Larry the Axe Hennig.
Yeah.
Or Larry the Axe. I think he might have had. I think it's Hennig. I think he might have had a different last name though, like working wise. And then Bo is in a wrestling family. So you know what I mean? It's just like insulting. And again, whatever. I'm
so insulting yourself.
But that's what I'm saying. It's insulting to what you guys are out there doing. I'm not actually saying that about them. I get it. It's a job, and Vince's rule is Vince's rule. We've all known that rule for a long time. But hearing it in this way, and really just, in my opinion, thinking that they're bigger than Rolling Stone and have more pull than Rolling Stone and being able to alter the title of the award itself, I don't like that. I think that's fucking whack. Miz didn't put it up here. Look, I got it right. You know what? I'm looking at the montage. That's actually what I'm looking like. Let me find the actual post, because I don't. Here we go. You don't become Wrestler of the Year by wearing your own merch shirt or tactical vests. You become Wrestler of the Year by day after day over-delivering on everything you do. When I come back, Raw will be my show again. Intercontinental title is mine. Thanks, Rolling Stone, for this honor. Sorry, Roman. Maybe next year, big dog.
And even,
that's wrestling.
Even more so, even if you believe that he obviously isn't deserving, I still absolutely love what The Miz did that entire year, and he's absolutely great.
Listen,
but how are you going to steal that from him? Like he won it.
My anti-it is only to motivate. I just want that extra it from him. That's all. I'm not against the Miz.
Even someone, if you don't believe he should have won it,
I'm just honest. He's not there.
He took it from him.
Dude, he's Matt. He's the Wrestler of the Year. You know what? Yeah. I'll tell you what. He is the Superstar of the Year.
Absolutely, Superstar of the Year. Yeah, if you want to make that an award.
But the Wrestler of the Year.
Yeah, not that part. Like I said, if you
good
want
at
to
wrestling.
dig to that detail.
His matches are not entertaining. That's something you have to say what it is. You do not go back and watch matches because of The Miz. You do not look forward to watching matches because of The Miz. Despite the fact that you like him in programs and you love him as a character, which I do, get excited to see him live in terms of when he's walking out and talking. But he's never saying much of anything.
There's not much going on.
Content-wise overall, he's a good talker, but he's never saying anything. And his matches are high opportunity level, but they're never really amounting to anything. With that said, they have an awesome 6-man tag match, these guys. The Bullet Club reunion is awesome. Briefly touching on the drama mistake on the WWE UK Facebook, Twitter, Instagram pages, they actually called them the Bullet Club. I guess I'm calling it a mistake.
No.
I believe it was a PR shot in the dark, and once they got heat for it, they were like, no, never mind.
Why not? You can't do anything really about it once it gets,
Can't do anything about it, period. You're not suing WWE and winning.
Nope.
And the guy who made it the guy who made it up works for the company.
Yeah.
Just saying. I know Gato owns the
technically
gimmick,
owns, yeah.
But anyways,
and even more so, you think that guy's gonna go, oh damn, WWE just gave more light to the thing that I own and makes a whole lot of money this year. No, please don't send more money my way.
That's where it was a mistake on their behalf. They're just like with the overreaction to the cease and desist with the invasion.
All it's doing is growing. Just like Cody said during the year, it's the literal greatest time for wrestling right now, no matter what you watch.
Yep. This match had an awesome finish. Camera didn't completely catch it, and momentum wasn't kind of fully carried because of the surpriseness to it, but it had a very Japan-esque feel in that the Good Brothers hit...
hit the Magic Killer.
Hit the Magic Killer, but the tag was made just before, and right after the match to Finn. Finn starts climbing the turnbuckle, and right after the Magic Killer, like basically as you'd expect the coup de grace and the finish and the pin to be happening, Anderson just goes running over and dives over the top rope. And again, the camera didn't fully catch it, so I feel like it kind of lost its momentum in that way. But it was just awesome that happened, and I hope that kind of thing continues. I can tell you right now, the fade out was early in the camera angle, in my opinion, because Carl wouldn't turn and look at it with Gallows and Balor. Yep. Balor's making a point to hard pan it, but you could tell for that same reason Anderson was just pumped, and
they all were, dude. They like how excited Finn was so above and beyond.
I sure as hell was excited.
Yeah,
Crowd was excited.
It literally, he had the same excitement as all of us sitting there watching it as fans wanting to see this had. And clearly that just shows that he's pumped on something, whether it just happens to be that night or it's definitely going to be a thing. We for sure think it's going to be a thing.
Yeah, it's going to be a thing.
But
this is
even more so. It was great. I'm all about it.
Absolutely. This is actually when Michael Cole says Superstar of the Year. I'm sorry. I had misremembered it, thinking it was earlier, and I skipped over it in my notes, but it's right here in order. So yeah, the second mentioning of it, Bo is actually the first one to mention it. Either way, dude, I just can't stand it. But Miz is coming back next week. It's the only reason I'm re-mentioning it. And this is all building to the end of Raw. Brock, Kane have an interaction. Brock comes out with Paul first. Paul puts him over. Brock has the blonde Minnesota Canadian boy-esque farm boy that he is, 5 o'clock shadow. I personally feel like it makes him look more intimidating. I feel like babyface Brock is intimidating in its own right because it's like this big, pale-faced guy just beating the shit out of you. But having seen bearded Brock in UFC, I don't think it's a bad idea to bring it into this world. I think
absolutely.
You might up some views because I'm telling you, that guy, you run into that guy.
And even more so,
not cleanly shaven guy at a bar or in the street, you're stepping the fuck out of his way.
Absolutely. Especially with Heyman doing the whole thing during the promo saying that the triple threat is a trick to, to set him up and stuff. And it just plays so well on what's happening. And it almost, he plays so well on what smarter fans think.
Oh, yeah.
He's a genius. Like, I know Vince is
Paul's no one smarter than Paul when it comes to that kind of.
You know what I mean, man? Like, Vince is a genius when it comes to wrestling, but man, Paul is really just up there with knowing how to put things just right.
Well, this leads to kind of a late cue, clearly, because Brock is stopping himself from getting out of the ring after Paul's promo. But nonetheless, I appreciate the effort. Kane's music hits a half a second later. Yeah. No pyro, Kane. I know, buddy.
Yeah, I know.
But
I'll
Kane
get to it after.
Kane still does come out aggressively. So Brock actually looks kind of shook, if you will.
Rightfully so.
No, I'm just saying, good booking on WWE's part. Good by doing right by Kane. Kane hits him with a choke slam. Brock sells the choke slam like you're supposed to. Remember that?
Mm-hmm.
I don't like that the title didn't pop off. I would have liked it if he loosened it up, so and as he slammed in the mat, it popped off. Or just straight up, I would have liked it if, like, preparing for the fight style, or when he grabbed his neck, he ripped it off to protect it. You know what I mean? I just thought it was kind of lame that he got slammed with the belt on, but clearly it was on purpose in the sense of Brock, as Kane was going to get out of the ring, and in his own way, kind of late cue or early cue, stopped himself and then turned around as Brock sat up, laughing, very reminiscent of the Undertaker moments.
So sick.
I
don't know.
Obviously, it was to mock Kane. No, I loved it. It. I'm just saying it very reminiscent of the Hell in a Cell and SummerSlam matches he had with Undertaker right before Taker was done. So I really liked that. I loved Brock, and then this is why I kind of reversed my complaint about the belt staying on. But again, this could have been done with the belt being on the floor since he was on the floor. And anyways, I love Brock taking the belt off. Instead of just hitting him with a clothesline, instead of just hitting him with the belt, he railed him with the clotheslined with the belt over the top rope and flipped over with him with the belt to the outside. The belt. So that's a lot of weight. That's like 500 pounds of men.
In the confusion, he goes to lift the belt, notices this.
Hold on, that's the end. That's the very end. That's the very end.
That is the end. What? Oh, well, I guess everyone coming in.
Just the last thing, because again, it's the only complaint I have about the segment overall. I'd expect to have a complaint in that. Most things they do with Kane is lazy, but it wasn't that. All the cues were slightly early and late. When they went to the outside, the guys from the back weren't there in time, and the commentary was late on it. So they literally, Kane and Brock, waited to start, lunging at each other. So all in all, there was no reason to pull them apart. They weren't up. They weren't face to face.
They weren't doing anything.
But then they did the normal thing they do with Brock, and he jumped at him and he swung at him, and then of course take us
scary
home.
Bro. Oh, so yeah, he goes to lift the belt. He notices that it's upside down, and I know more so picking. I was very excited that he fixed it because we've all watched people hold that thing upside down.
And he said, "Oh, there it is," fixed it, and then threw it right back on his shoulder as the screen faded. That's a smart dude.
Yeah, he just gets it. And I don't, especially with me. When we've seen it happen when someone holds it upside down, you just get really bugged. They don't notice it. And it's not a big thing because it's an accident. and especially in a situation like
and
that,
that's
fell
but that's
over.
exactly how he made it. Like, oh, it was an accident. Did you just see I kicked that guy's ass? So
Yeah.
Raw, I'd say was like 7.5. I don't want to say 8 because that's like always like a nicer number, but probably in all actuality about an 8 out of 10. Good.
Just
good 7.8 out of 10.
Yeah, 7.8.5. But just noting on the Kane pyro thing, because you made fun of me. I'm more so asking the question: do you think they'll go all out and WrestleMania is going to have it? Because we thought about that.
Maybe for Brock. Oh wait, no. Actually, no. Yeah,
you know what I mean?
the
Like,
whole
it's just
show.
WrestleMania. Like if there's a time to spend the money,
Nah, I don't know, buddy.
You don't think?
SummerSlam didn't have it.
But it's WrestleMania, man.
And
I don't mean for wrestlers. I just mean in general. Just
you gotta do it, dude.
I don't know. I feel like it would lack.
No, I totally agree. I absolutely agree. And the budget's already there, clearly.
I mean, come on, you're making the fucking money back.
I don't think it's just a penny pinching thing. I think it's I think it's Vince's like vision test. Like, I see this for the future. Same reason we're not doing one fall. We're not calling them wrestlers. There's no heels. There's no face. Whatever.
Well, you might want to not have characters revolve around their pyro. Not that Kane's only is pyro.
Hey, you know what? Actually, it won't matter at all. Actually, why did I answer your question? Kane will not be at WrestleMania this year. This Royal Rumble
I don't
will be
mean
Kane's last
I don't
match.
mean specifically his.
Okay,
his
anybody.
pyro. I just mean any pyro in general.
Brock will Roman Reigns when he wins and pulls his dick out to show that it's bigger than everyone else's ever, including Rasputin, which we all know had a big old dick. Then there will be some pyrotechnics, I hear.
That would be cool.
I just made that up. So that was Raw. It was fine. SmackDown opens. We do a quick. I'm sorry. We should take a quick breather. Ring of Honor television. We can quickly recap because it's basically a best of. They are off. They are off of TV for the week. The description on Fight TV is all wrestlers are recovering from Final Battle and a look back at the best match of 2017. With that said, I do not recommend you miss this because, especially if you're looking to become a fan in the new year, you're looking to get into Wrestle Kingdom for the first time, which obviously it's New Japan's, but just some of the guys featured on the card are Ring of Honor guys and have worked before. And if you're just that into wrestling and want to get more into it, I definitely suggest you check out this episode and then continue weekly from there, because starting next week, those new beautiful titles will debut. Holy shit,
look so amazing.
Other than Ring of Honor going the kind of cheesy route and making their TV title the same as New Japan's US, which, don't get me wrong, it looks beautiful. It's just kind of cheesy in that it's the same shape. It's just not red and not as big and nice in all reality. It still is a awesome belt. The 6-man tag, I've heard mixed opinions on. Joe hates it. Eric likes it. I like it, but I could see reason to dislike it. Basically the same feelings I had to the old NXT titles.
Yeah.
I liked him, but I could see why others didn't. But anyways, with that said, the tag title for Ring of Honor looks like looks like a heavyweight title, brethren. It really does look awesome, and I'm excited for that company, and I am going to see them March 3rd in Manhattan. Manhattan Mayhem 7. Me and Joseph are bringing the Joe Zone layer, not actually, but we are bringing the vibe of the Joe Zone layer to the Hammerstein Ballroom. We are sitting way up high at the 3350 seats. And it's going to be awesome. That was my Christmas present to Joe and my reason to buy the ticket for myself. So,
I'm taking you, but I'm also buying it for myself.
That's Ring of Honor this week. You're not missing anything if you do miss it, if you were attentive this year.
And even more so, it's a perfect time to, like you said, get into it, because it's a good time to start because of now, what's going on. So you can easily get into it without missing. This show is easily,
now that we're about 50 or so minutes in, this show is easily going to be about 2 hours because we're going to extensively preview Wrestle Kingdom at the end.
Extensively.
And
it is the kingdom.
Also we need to take the time to talk about these minor shows like 205 and, again, even a recap type episode on Ring of Honor before we move on to SmackDown. That does remind me, though, based off the last episode, I literally just remembered, we are going to reserve Ring of Honor for the weekend, aren't we?
Yeah, we're gonna.
Okay, well, it's fine. It can stay in this episode where it is. I won't even edit this out or anything because it is just a recap episode. So again, check it out if you want to get into it or if you want to just look back on some of the awesome.
Mostly because it's on Mondays, so you're gonna be watching it in this realm with other stuff anyway.
Yeah. So at the very least, we'll be previewing that from now on because just like we do NXT. because it's worth talking about. So on to SmackDown, on to more WWE. We get a quick recap video of last week's main event with AJ and Kevin and all the fiasco. AJ comes out wearing all blue. I know my man is excited about that.
I do like it, but also I am noticing it more when the show is that color. It does. I noticed your
it's a beef. I don't mind it. He's the world champion. It's fine.
No, with him it's cool because obviously he is the show, and obviously it's the
and
house.
Also it's just like that's
AJ
him,
Styles
dude. He's
built.
like a Monster Energy, like DC shoe kid. You know what I mean? Like everything matches.
He's John
like,
Cena if you actually like John Cena and like was like about the gear change. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well,
you're like, oh, I love the neon.
Because John Cena's thing is like random. I'm just saying, like AJ can match the whole show, and he's just so pro wrestler that it's not like you want to see anything different out of him.
Yeah,
so,
that's true. Either way,
but yes, I'm glad you started to notice that, and definitely continue to notice it with other people, and have a problem with it, and voice that problem. Because I don't think it'll change otherwise, and I fucking hate seeing people wearing the same color, especially similar like tights and everything. God, It's so frustrating. Anyways, AJ's out. He's promoing. Daniel comes out. He's got a quick half a promo in, and then Shane comes out. Does a quick shimmy, falls out of a helicopter, and he decides he's gonna promo
directly into the ring. Falls out of the
helicopter. Do you remember any of the meat and potatoes of the situation?
Basically, Shane apologizes to AJ. He says,
right.
Him coming out. You
know what? Just that quickly ties up my former point. AJ is the kind of guy who can dap as world champion while matching all the ring ropes with his gear.
With Shane McMahon.
And there's nothing wrong with it. You don't look at that and go, that's douchey. If Roman Reigns did that in a red line vest on Raw as world champion, I would punch my TV with my balls. Continue.
So Shane apologizes for possibly distracting the match by coming out and kicking out Sammy.
Absolutely.
So he does acknowledge that he's also kind of in the wrong with what he's doing, but he makes a point to say that it looks and seems like Daniel Bryan is awful fond of KO and Sami Zayn.
Right.
And then they go on to implement all of themselves being at ringside for the Sami Zayn
so
AJ
it's weird
match.
SmackDown, not even while traditionally and beforehand, and I mean traditionally as in since it's become SmackDown Live, so only within the last year or so, it's tried to be the more wrestling based show, but it's really starting to take the 99 non-logical route, and I'm not complaining. This is cool. It's totally fine, but I'm just saying a bunch of people opening a wrestling show saying they're going to be at ringside sounds very in the main event, and then going, if you're going to be at ringside, I'll be at ringside, and it's like more than one person, or more than two people, I should say. It just sounds very
I also noticed just more so
over the place.
When the show started and it was AJ Sammy, the show was in Orlando, so I was initially supposed to be going, but real life stuff happens. But they initially were advertising it as it was supposed to be Sammy, Kevin versus Randy and Shinsuke. So I'm wondering what happened there.
Nothing. I told you already.
Dipped on it?
Randy's off TV in the middle of the month.
That's right.
That's just especially, and this is with no disrespect to you or anyone else, but it's just honest. When it's Florida is a good market for wrestling, obviously, especially indie wrestling. It's like the best market for wrestling. But for WWE, they are way more focused on like major markets and like especially the Northeast, the Midwest, and the West Coast. And so with that said, they probably, as far as pre-pro goes, same reason that one pre-pro in South Carolina had some random image of Baron Corbin. That's all I'm trying to say with a made-up title. That's all I'm trying to say overall. They don't care about it as extensively, and so that was the main event of Clash of Champions, and so that's what they had listed.
And even more so, the main event was supposed to be AJ Jinder in a Orlando street fight for the title, I believe.
Yeah, so then it is probably a combination of ditch the plan because they made up this U.S. title tournament and we're like, oh shit, that should be Jinder, which for the record, even though we're going to get at it later, I do think Jinder might win this tournament. He's the only former world champion involved, and it just, in my opinion, I don't think it's I think it makes sense. I think there's nothing wrong with that. I do think it's going to be funny if and when. Oh, I suppose John Cena's a Raw man now. Anyways, I just wanted to ironically say it'll be funny if John Cena finds himself facing literally the other foreign guy who at one point was partners with Rusev. in a similar situation that he faced Rusev WrestleMania. But anyways, with all that said, plans probably changed. And then, like I said, in the tag match preview, it probably wasn't plans changed. They probably didn't know what the fuck was going to happen with Sammy and Kevin then. Because
that's what I thought. I honestly thought things changed because of how more specifically, the Sammy and Kevin thing developed.
Right. Yeah, because it's definitely gotten on its own actual own legs in the last week or two only. Before that, it was more of an idea kind of floating around and making everyone like us very hopeful. Yeah. So these guys do promo for a while. You're right. It ends. They're all. And I'm only saying promo as a verb in this case because it is just so to say that Daniel's promo to specify this to go through the specifics of each guy's promo is that would take 10 minutes in itself. It's a lot of talking.
Absolutely, just too much.
This is like 14 minutes of talking, I believe, which normal WWE programming at this point. We go to the brackets for the U.S. title tournament. Very exciting night ahead. Aiden English and Xavier Woods. At least if you have smartened up to Aiden English's work before, you know that that's going to be good. And we won't spoil it because we'll get to it, but holy shit, it was good.
Absolutely.
Zack Ryder and Mojo, I'm looking forward to because if Mojo got the win at the pay-per-view, maybe Zack can get the win now. And
I'm just hoping for Zack.
Bobby Roode. Woo! Zack, Bobby Roode. That's a match.
Exactly. Baby. I'm just thinking of the possibilities of the bracket. There's plenty of awesome possibilities there.
So loving the continued New Year's Day stuff, loving Rusev, and obviously New Day is going to be featured in the background of Xavier's match preview thing, but I love Rusev being featured with Aiden, and at this point that just being like, it doesn't matter, they both have Day in the name. It just literally doesn't matter. One's Rusev Day, one's New Day.
Yep. No well, that's why I was telling Sean. He was like, I don't get it. I was like, dude, just think of it. You got Rusev Day, you got New Day. Everyone's
it's
got
like
their
when
day.
they were. It was like,
thing.
don't get me wrong. We've had a conversation before. I don't think on this podcast, but in life before about how it got real ridiculous with all the different NWOs and LWO. But that doesn't mean the BWO wasn't awesome. Yeah. And when it existed at the same time as the NWO and was basically like a parody of something that already was. I know the NWO wasn't a parody, but you know what I mean. It was like sarcastic and insider. Say like New Day. New Day is very like to the smart fan. Rusev Day is like the sarcastic. Oh my god! Literally, it's what you mentally would have wanted a year and a half ago when you didn't like New Day with the unicorn horns.
Exactly.
So WWE is providing in that way, and I still,
giving
for the
you
record,
an option.
we both at this point in terms of you've come around in the last year and a half, and me always because I just love them. I love everyone.
Oh yeah, just at first it was up, but they're just too good. They're, like no matter you could give them the worst. They're like Gulak. You could give them the worst of the worst, and they would turn into gold. And
also, I just love almost everything they do. Big E is a future heavyweight champion star, in my opinion.
Should be.
Has been my opinion for a while. I hope it comes to fruition eventually. But we're getting the tag title match this week. We're getting the recap of last week's awesome match, triple threat match. It's Chad Gable and Benjamin versus the Usos. I love that the Usos now. Well, first of all, I guess because I shouldn't let them not shine as much as the Usos are about to in terms of entrance. Gable and Benjamin are always hyped. Benjamin almost sent himself over the top rope.
I literally noticed. I was like, wow.
But no
Benjamin
problem.
Almost just fell.
No problem because he acknowledges it to Gable as they're fading out to the Usos. He says, "Did you see that shit in my knee?" And aside from that, man, they just have that kind of organic energy together. Where like
they do.
Obviously, they commit by the end of this match and on the show that they're going to be heel wrestlers. But that doesn't change the fact that they have organic energy, kind of like the Club when they were heel. They're heel, but they're just out there like
that's just them. They're just being
trying to telling the kind of jokes they want to tell. Anyways, what I really want to get on in terms of these entrances that really deserves a shining moment. I just love so much the Usos always coming out with a mic now.
Yep.
And this back and forth, like, dude.
It's, like kind of, new age outlaw-y, but in a way new age better
between
thing. And not even like...
Between Enzo, New Day, Rusev Day with the singing in their own way, these guys, and obviously that's a lot on SmackDown with the exclusion of Enzo, but Paul Heyman with Lesnar, like there are so many new age outlaw type things, Elias, that it's not new age outlaw type things anymore.
No, that's true. People, I guess that's just more so because it's
no, but you're still right. I'm just making the point. It's just that entertaining and that good of a gimmick. That's how good this stuff is getting.
And more so their new Uso thing.
Got to go back to Raw really quick, just because Elias made an awesome comment in his pre-match song stuff that WWE stands for Walk with Elias.
You know what's funny is I noted that and I just didn't even mention it because I thought that was really fucking cool.
Shit, man. And then, oh man. I just, as soon as you said that, I was brushing my teeth. I walked out because I had it.
Oh, shit.
I had it blasting while I was brushing my teeth in the bathroom, and then I walked out right after he said that. I was just looking at the TV. I was like, man, that is...
And it was even more so, I saw a sign that literally said that. It was WWE down the side, and it said, walk with Elias. And I was like, man.
Maybe that's where I will not deny it all. Maybe that's where they got the idea from. Someone might have had it on a sign, and we had not.
It's very well possible.
So, anyways, this back on SmackDown. Sorry, I just didn't want to skip over that. You brought up Elias again, and I can't believe we both forgot that.
Yeah,
it was so great. So, anyways, tag title match, pre-match announcement. Just like the Intercontinental title match on Raw, there's no one fall mentioning. Usos are so hyped. Gable and Benjamin are really hyped, but I'm just not sure which one it was, Jimmy or Jay. Fucking looked like he was about to rip his arm out of his own socket when he punched when they said their names.
Oh yeah, they're just getting so into it, like they're gonna hurt themselves.
Benjamin went right after the non-legal man, drove the legal man into his corner and made a tag to Gable. Just right off the bat, good psychology, good in-ring stuff. Like, God, dude, these teams are good. The gear is great. Benjamin's running reversal stuff, whether it be the obvious top rope belly to belly, that's really more of a shoulder toss, or it's that which he's been doing lately, the running knees or the running kicks, all those, like the run up the apron, run up the turnbuckles. Oh, he's so fucking good at that, especially for a big guy. And in this case particularly, he did it, and then Gable hit a moonsault off the opposite. I was
literally just about to ask, because I couldn't remember what he hit before it, because I thought he hit like a hip toss type thing.
That's really what it is. It's like a hip toss, but in all actuality, it's an evolution of what was Kurt Angle's belly to belly off the top rope. Kurt just started doing it as a reversal, where he'd run up and just grab the guy by the shoulder and toss him. So now that's just kind of like what Benjamin and some other guys do. It's just kind of become.
But yeah, that sequence, man, I lost.
So yeah, he did that into the moonsault, and that went to commercial. Unbelievable.
Yeah, I will note that just because SmackDown really has a bad timing with that.
WWE.
Yeah, just in general.
Always.
But it's always in the worst time. Like, I do like the fact that they do the little in-screen thing on live, that you can keep watching it.
Yeah.
But ultimately, it's always at the worst time. And during, like, some of the most pinnacle matches, you're like, oh, I didn't want to watch that at all. Sorry.
I think it's just a lack of importance that they know there is right now with their overall viewer, whether it be casual or hardcore, of Shelton Benjamin and Chad Gable versus the Usos. So they know that if Gable and Benjamin are going to be strong, and that's going to maybe lead to people more likely to change the channel if they're still on that wavelength of, if the guys that I like isn't winning, I'm not going to watch it right now. Then let's just go to commercial before come back on the Usos comeback. And really, obviously, it becomes clear later that this is all cut up because big swerves come, and I just want to get some move-specific stuff in before the swerve, which was great, by the way. Creative and original and not done on Raw, and hopefully not copied on Raw next week.
Hopefully not, but,
There was a different kind of swerve with the tag titles, same week with Raw, but for the record, just as an example of this, there's nothing wrong with that. This
the right way to do it is this.
Storytelling, and it's very good. And so, anyways, the move-specific stuff is when we come back from commercial, Jimmy Uso bounces off the second rope like Rey Mysterio, but he's a huge man.
I know.
So that was so cool especially because it led to his huge dive to the outside. It's just like pretty much a big old bowl of what the fuck. You know what I mean?
Why did he do that?
It doesn't make any sense, but it was so entertaining. Shortly after, Gable and Benjamin hit that sweet new finisher. This is right after Benjamin capitalizes on what looks like it's going to be a second dive by the other Uso, but he does, again, what I was just talking about, one of those run-up, stop, knee, kick thing. He's just got that execution down from working in Japan, clearly. At least in my opinion, it's got to be what it's from. So, yeah, he nails that. We come back, they hit the dope finish, and they pin him, new champions, and you could tell by the crowd, they're basically like the crowd knew it wasn't legit before.
Yeah.
The TV audience.
You could see the excitement, but then go, wait.
It was very fast, and so they're kind of like, why? Even if they believe it because they don't understand it's not the legal man, or, not everyone in the arena is not smart enough to have realized that, they still know, like, okay, something's up. And then you really know something is up, obviously, because another ref comes running out. They have a discussion. They show some replays, and it turns out, and this is awesome as far as an angle goes because I always feel so bad getting the two Usos mixed up, but turns out they pinned the wrong Uso. The referee didn't realize.
What a way to fuck up.
They quote-unquote restart the match, and this in itself is just as competitive as the first half for the first match or whatever. It's awesome. It's still its own match. It's short, but
yeah.
It's all just build stuff, and it's really good. and there's a reversed running belly to belly thing, and it all. Ooh, that's the thing I skipped over. They go for the finish, the creative, awesome new finish for them again, and it leads to Gable jumping over the one Uso and getting super kicked by the other
just
one. Oh,
obliterated.
And then Benjamin, which the camera didn't fully pick up, had dropped the one Uso on his shoulders down to his thighs, and he brought him back up.
Yeah, I mean the power, like just
pretty amazing.
They're on. They're great now. The chemistry between the two, just perfect.
Well, the Usos hit one Uso hits a super kick, tags the other in. They hit a double super kick, tags the other back in, and they hit the Uso splash. So I thought that was a strong way to put Benjamin over, or for Benjamin to go down to the Usos.
It takes a lot for him to.
Yeah, and that's the only thing, again, just to quickly tie back to Raw and hopefully for the last time, but that was my only problem with Joe Reigns. I would have liked to see him spear him and then spear him again and have no issue.
Show him that it takes more than just his normal move to do it.
Yeah, so anyways, good stuff on SmackDown. The Usos look great. I love them. We cut to, Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, backstage. Sami Zayn right now is in this other place where
some fucking fire.
You can be a heel wrestler and oh man, he's just obviously I know he does charity stuff, which I'm not at all critical of. He should, but outside of that, he's just fully critical to this sarcastic little sidekick, but at this point just like duo, like Chris Jericho, Kevin Owens level equation. And this yep thing, especially with the opening promo, I just remembered that content from the opening promo we were talking about.
Asking if Daniel started the yep thing.
Shane asked, he asked if he's changing the yes movement into the yep movement, which is pretty much a verbal way of saying, are you going to turn heel? And that's great. And the last this promo segment is not only great because, Sami Zayn trips up and says the 7, Sami and Kevin show. And then Kevin says, that was weird that you said 7, but anyways. And Sami goes, well, Sami, Kevin, and they just keep talking. Yep. Even though the promo's about to end, they just keep rolling. Sami is a little red in the face, you can see.
Yeah, he's a little.
But he still caps it off with the. Yeah. Like, dude.
It just killed it.
My God, man. That facial expression, he's like Corey Matthews level entertaining. Like Boy Meets World. Think about Corey Matthews, but when he's being an idiot in the episodes where, especially when he's younger, where he's like a level of just being like, that really is how dumb. Entertained I am by Sami.
And you know what's even funny? As good as that was, Kevin, to me, with the nothing's gonna be different thing, that really stuck with me. It just solidified how fucking heel and good they are.
They're great. They're both so great. That was a Boy Meets World reference, in case anybody didn't realize.
We love television.
I don't want anyone to be like, who is Corey Matthews? So that was really good stuff. Then
is there a new wrestler, Corey Matthews?
Debuting Corey Matthews. Coming to the ring.
Coming from Chicago, I believe.
Company by Mr. Feeney.
He's alive still.
I don't think they're in Chicago. They're in Chicago?
I believe so, because I could have swore he's always wearing Cubs apparel, but I could be wrong.
Yo, we got to look that up after the show. So anyways,
we'll
Sami and Kevin, great promo. Yep, cap it off. We get a quick preview of the 6-woman tag team match. 6-woman tag team match. Awesome to see written out. Yep, Ruby Riott, cool. Oh man, dude, she is take my money. I don't care. I
absolutely.
Love the new shirt.
And right now, the shirts are.
That shirt is so basic in a good way, and that back, I
love it. That was my favorite part. I was like,
we win, we riot. Perfect. In case you're too dumb to know, perfect play on the whoever you don't like wins, we riot. So in example's case, if Cena wins, we riot. Like what? If anything, more often than not in the past 15 years. It was always
if Cena wins,
we riot. So we win, we riot. Good stuff. I'm buying that shirt next couple weeks once I get a little bit money back from this large Christmas. We didn't end up doing our weekend show. We should acknowledge that quickly. I just realized.
Oh, yeah.
We skipped our weekend show because I went to see my favorite band, Glassjaw. It was awesome. My friend surprised me with a ticket for Christmas. So, yeah, I just didn't get around to that. Understandably so. And then we got lucky anyways because I had been ruining the NXT main event for weeks.
Just as long. So we didn't need to tell you because we already told you.
But just wanted to touch on that in terms of the sequential order of these episodes. We'll finish talking about that later. So SmackDown continuing Like I said, Ruby Riot's great. The shirt is great. The women being written out is great. I think this goes to Breezango Bludgeon Brothers, right?
It absolutely does.
And this actually is Bludgeon Brothers Ascension? Does it turn into a match? Or it's no match? No match.
No, it literally, they come out, they get
especially
beat up, and then Ascension comes out and gets beat up.
For the U fan, this should have tickled your fancy because I know obviously you like Breezango more, and I do too, but I'm just saying Tyler Breeze looked fantastic.
Absolutely.
In this, getting at least as good as you can look, getting your ass kicked. Fandango looks good too, but just Breeze is really, really good and really, really good. Really special. Yeah, I said good twice. I meant special the second time.
He's good. Double
he's
good.
Very good, and also he's good. Oh God, so good.
It's just so good.
But they quickly show the recap of last week. Them getting killed, which also Tyler Breeze looks great in, just for the record. This beating's a lot quicker because, yes, it gets the Ascension, then the Ascension gets killed. For the record, in my opinion, Victor looks better taking their finisher than almost anyone has, which I've been saying all along. You need just some real wrestlers taking the move to make it a bit more believable.
People.
The signature is still better, but whatever. Good short thing. Luke Harper looking strong.
I like it because it appeals more to that idea of going with it being them Ascension, which is more believable. Nothing against Breezango.
No, yeah, right. It's just kind of cool. Ascension, Bludgeon Brothers. It's
and more so finally brings them back to actually doing something because Ascension's been out of the picture for a while.
Exactly. Less odd couple pairing, more of like, oh, wow, two monsters or whatever.
Yeah.
Cuts Xavier Woods backstage. He thinks the kendo stick is a piñata stick, or right? Is it even a kendo stick?
That's what it looks like, but I couldn't really, pinpoint.
He's blindfolded. When they say that they know he can see through the blindfolds because he's making comments about what's on the table, which is a bunch of pancakes cut out like Happy 2018 and whipped cream and all that. They make the comment that he must be able to see through the blindfold, and he says, I did get LASIK recently. I just thought this was a good, that's the New Day's humor pretty much as a whole. This segment,
it was almost like they let them, they said,
intro.
hey, we're going to give you the camera for a minute, do something.
Yeah, that shit was mad funny. And then, of course, only way it could get better, Rusev Day interrupts. Kofi the whole time just nonchalantly disagreeing with everything they say is hilarious. Like literally like Aiden being like, I'm going to win in advance, or however he says, and Kofi being like, but nah, you're not going to though. It was great.
Again, very their humor, but trading off with the, counterpoint of Rusev and Aiden's humor.
While I do think Rusev is a good promo, I think it's smarter to keep letting Aiden talk. I think he needs to talk more now to be as
he can
equally
be like
over
the talking lackey guy.
And I just think that, again, I don't have a problem with Rusev's promos, but I don't think he's as well received as I like him. So I just think overall, promo-wise, yeah, he should keep going to get comfortable with it, but the singing thing with Aiden English is much funnier. And anyways, this wound up being one of the pancakes had a candle, make a wish for the new year, and Rusev blew it out, and they threw some of the Happy New Year decorations. And one of the best parts, Xavier Woods was lunging at him, and the Kofi and Big E was like, quote unquote, holding him back. But best part to cap off the segment was Big E saying, "For why though?" for like a couple times. Like, for why though? For why though?
It's just so good. I love them. More so now. I obviously wasn't on board at the beginning, but they really come around to
and they have. Whether you were or especially if you weren't a fan in the beginning, like Eric, you can't deny they've evolved at this point. And if you're not a fan of them now, I don't think you like wrestling.
To be
in
honest.
that segment, Xavier Woods says if he becomes champion, the three becomes champion. That's great. They all do their little hip thing. Just wanted to get that in because it was an awesome part. Quick little video of Mojo having a really hard time reading the cue card, or at the very least, given a script where there's a lot of long pauses between a short amount of words, and at the same time, it's probably the best thing I've ever seen from him. So, quick promo. He says, "Woo, woo, woo." I think he should have then continued same pace. You know it, but he went, "You know it." And that was kind of weird. Point being, he says his match with Zack Ryder, U.S. title tournament, is next week. So we know to look for that. You have thoughts, questions, comments, concerns on that?
No, honestly, I just really hope Zack comes out on top of this.
I think he will. I think he will. Yeah. I don't think there's any reason to have a pay-per-view win.
My only thing is knowing that the only guy that technically benefits from it is Mojo moving on, I think, just because he hasn't really gotten much and he's coming off of losing his team, if you will.
Yeah, but they could be more so moving on from Mojo too, you know.
I mean,
because he won that Andre the Giant thing last
and
WrestleMania, and nothing came of it. They
out.
literally tried one SmackDown, and everyone was like, "Nah, we're still good on that." They were like, "Oh."
And even more so, I'm just Zack Ryder. I'm a big Zack Ryder fan. Give the man
Zack Ryder.
some U.S. title,
My
or at least let him go to the end.
My fellow Long Islander, I would love to see. Zack Ryder succeed. Woo 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 woo. You know it. No, I do. I love Zack Ryder.
And he's just good. Like I don't understand the lack of use or whatever it is that happens back there.
Part of it, I think, is that he's balding. We have to move on. The Rusev Day comes out right after this in the ring. They do a short promo segment, and normally would say too much time for one team's situation, but no complaints here. Entertaining guys.
I loved it.
And turns out Rusev is going to sing for us this time. It's terrible, but it's funny.
Exactly what I expect.
I do, again, though, I'm going back to my point. It killed the momentum of the Rusev Day chants just because people know Aiden English is actually, I'm not saying good, like, oh, I love his voice, but I'm just saying he can sing well enough that people actually have the timing, what's it called? The timing down for people to chant
he
Rusev
knows
Day
his
along with
part,
him.
so he knows when to let let it breathe.
Yeah, and then I feel like Rusev, while Aiden sings, shaking his head is what builds up underneath the... Okay, because like basically in a long story short type way, what I'm trying to say is Aiden goes, Rusev Day, and people chant that along, but then Rusev starts shaking his head
building
like this,
it up.
and underneath other people just looking for shit to chant, A, and then B, also just not really feeling comfortable enough to go along with Aiden, start going, Rusev Day, Rusev Day.
To
and
him,
that,
it's like a...
To me, that should be his like hulking up type thing. He needs to do that.
They start chanting Rusev Day, and he starts building it and hulking and pumping out.
Yeah. I don't think talking more is going to get it more over, but whatever.
No,
I'm not.
but I
I'm
like
also
him.
not.
He's
no,
funny to me.
I love him. He's so funny. I just think Aiden is
not
the
everyone will
stronger
accept
mouth.
it as much.
Aiden is the stronger mouth right now. This match is fantastic and different and new, and in terms of you haven't seen this, and for these stakes and these two singles guys go for the 7-8 minutes they did, which isn't long, but TV time. It's a good match. I think
that was my
only
10. Pick was it seemed a little short, and at a certain point it kind of seemed I don't want to
Mid-card
say
title?
effortless. I don't want to seem effortless, but it seemed like Xavier got it pretty easy, even though the match was very good.
Well, okay, I know what you mean, but I have to disagree, and I'll explain why at the end of this match, because I have a liking of thing and an interest in things going more that way, and it's kind of old school, and I think it's in relation to the thing you're saying your way.
Yeah.
So before we get there. Weird part of the match, Xavier Woods going over the top rope and then doing a little roll. Like, it's cool, but, I don't know, like, maybe land on your feet first, like Neville style, and then roll.
Yeah.
Like, 9 times out of 10 otherwise, that hurts somebody. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Kayfabe
generally.
speaking.
Yeah.
No problem, however, with right after that, as awkward as it looks, I like when they do things, even if it means they look awkward, I like when they do things for the sake of recognizing the importance of their signature and their having a move set and things like that. I liked Xavier going for the honor roll on the outside. Again, doesn't make any sense, but it's cool, like that he went for that, and it led to him getting his face slammed on the steps because it didn't really make any sense for him to do the move there. Good wrestling psychology, even if that's just my perceived psychology. It's awesome. Rusev runs to get involved at that point as well. Says he's just kidding, which I thought was funnier than most people. And then, going back in the ring, definitely when Xavier gets his comeback, he hits a really big super kick. Skipping some headlock stuff, he hits a really big super kick on Aiden. And I think it's pretty much all Xavier from there. I know they're both down.
I noted he hits like a lumbar
right
move, and I got really pumped on it.
Because Aiden hits his own super kick to the midsection, and then Xavier picks him up in like a rack position, and it goes to exactly what you just said, it's a backbreaker, like a double knee backbreaker. But see, at this point, false finish-wise, I actually thought Aiden could win.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. I expected it, too, at first, because I was like, oh, man, Xavier's really been, on a better path so far. It felt like he was doing better. So I was like, oh, man, Aiden's about to get his time and go over. But all in all, I had
Looked great.
Yeah,
I had
no complaint, really.
There was, let me see. I just know there was something in specific. That's what it was. So, roll up by Woods, leads to a roll-up by Aiden English where he has the tights, and he really almost gets him. That leads to Aiden English's own, like, rack setup, that like, sit-out spine buster from the shoulders. Love that move. Seems like even if the crowd's not super into it, seems like people actually kind of bought that for a second. If anything, by not being into it, they were like, oh, shit, this guy's about to fucking win.
Yeah.
I know Joe did. He told me he definitely bought into that false finish. And I'm just trying to fucking remember, how did Xavier Woods lay him out before he hit him with the elbow?
I can't remember because he was in kind of a weird position. He was over more further on the side of the ring.
Yeah, that's kind of how he sets up his elbow. Maybe he did something to him off the top rope. Is that how he got him that far out?
I really can't.
Yeah, no, that's what it was. That's what it was. Aiden went to set something up top rope. Would have.
Oh, that's right, and he hit him.
Would have looked like a power bomb or pile driver you really obviously not gonna do something to him, but still cool setup. And then Xavier flipped him over.
Well, that's what I was remember because he was in a position where you could tell Aiden wasn't actually gonna hit something because both his feet were on the other side.
I think they teased even when he flipped him over, he held him up on his back.
Yeah.
Too,
You could see him cool. Kind of like I don't want to say Hulk, but he slowly picked him up off his back and then he tossed him off.
Right, and then Xavier hits the elbow, and it's at this weird position like he does. He has like 1 foot a little more out on the actual rope. It kind of gives it a little more spring. And then just kind of capping off on this match with my elaboration of my point of kind of a disagreement with you from earlier. I think matches should be able to end with an elbow drop. I just think you have to make that elbow drop be that important. I think otherwise there was nothing lackluster.
I love his elbow. It just more so it felt like it didn't take much for him to win eventually when he did get control, I guess.
Well, quick highlight of the match, Big E throwing pancakes from out of his tights, pieces of pancakes really, whatever made it out of his tights from his hands.
Pulled it out,
Woods,
then they ate it.
When he was laid out on the floor from the step shot, that was cool. We go backstage. You'll have to forgive me. I don't know this backstage woman's name. I wrote that down.
Oh, yeah. I have some trouble with that sometimes too. I'm like, oh.
Basically, though, this is the welcome committee. They're going to, take care of the Riot Squad. That's the whole thing. Motherfucking mailman in the building.
I got so pumped. I was like, I didn't know what's he doing here.
What is he doing here?
What is Karl Malone? Yeah, he's like, you know what? Fuck you.
Maybe he's involved with the ownership of the Magic. Maybe we just don't know.
Maybe, yeah, who knows? Or maybe he's just trying to watch some wrestling. He gives the crowd a nice big bang.
No, there he is, Karl Malone, the fucking mailman. And he hits the DDP.
Yeah, he hits the bang, shows the crowd he's still relevant.
He's like, guys, I just watched wrestling yesterday.
I remember that time I was in WCW and had that match.
Hit some people with the yes. Let's see, what did we get after that?
I believe you had the Welcome Committee Riot Squad match, yeah.
Right. Not really move specific stuff other than hey,
look at me. Off.
Not only that, Orlando crowd was into her, we talked about before the show.
I'm not sure what it
maybe the Florida-ness. I believe she's from Miami. I don't know.
Yeah.
Really, really loved. Go figure. Going back on like stuff I've said before. Love Sarah Logan's finish, handstand double knee, awesome move.
And more so, the shirts make them look more.
Yep,
team-like,
more packaged,
and more so they're
eye
giving
makeup
her
too.
More. Yep, the eye makeup.
Big thing. I know if my girlfriend watched this with me, she'd be sitting there saying like she looks bad. That's bad makeup. Yeah. Just because she's not looking at a wrestling like standpoint, but that as small of a thing, big thing to me as far as a next step up and what you're saying, patching them together. Okay, here we go. About to pop off again. Charlotte comes out to interrupt the Riot Squad after because they beat the welcoming committee, right? Because that's the reason we're kind of skipping past this match.
Yeah,
Ruby Riot gives this awesome promo. Ruby Riot, oh man, take it all, Ruby Riot. You can be the champ. You can do it. Ruby Riot, Asuka, that's a match.
Ooh,
I know they've done. I think they've done NXT stuff or at least interacted, but still, I'm just saying. Ruby Riot's looking good as far as major roster debut. This leads to Charlotte interrupting. Naomi comes out. Charlotte looks less awkward to her entrance song. I feel like that was kind of low-key done on purpose.
Yeah, she kind of looked a little better, but still was like, hey, you still...
Well, I mean, she's still from North Carolina. And then, Becky Lynch returned. That was definitely the point of the segment for sure. Becky coming back. But here we go, just skipping past because they just had a brawl and like it was cool. Charlotte, that awesome.
I popped big for Bex just because I was stoked, but that was
But I'm just saying match specific or move specific stuff. Charlotte hit the great boot. Naomi hit the great springboard knee.
I like how everyone matched up with the right person too.
Absolutely. And then Becky hit that goddamn exploder. The Bexploder, sorry.
Yep, Bexploder. Twice.
She hit,
got
yeah,
two
twice.
people.
Yeah, right. She got Liv Morgan too, right?
Yep. She got Ruby, and then Liv sold the hell out of hers. Just let her sling her.
So it's just for the record, and this is fucked up on our end, but it's just because the move got at the same time, and there's an obvious difference between Sonya Deville and Sarah Logan. Liv Morgan is in the Riot Squad, and Mandy Rose is in Absolution. Yeah, those two blonde girls, and not just because they're blonde. It's just because there's so much going on, and again, the writing seems so parallel. Yep. I did have trouble remembering the names of. They
did let her start the tag match, which kind of felt like was
because it's SmackDown Liv. That's the whole. That's the way you remember it.
Yep.
Right. So. If anything, I just wanted the clarification out there in case anyone else was confused and whatever. This was a good segment overall, but here's the thing I have to pop off about. Charlotte comes out with no belt. The belt is just not there. Yeah, it's just not around her waist. Like, dude.
No champion I've ever seen would ever,
they would
like,
just
not
talk
have
about
belt.
it, and especially Raw. If anything, on the unprofessional side of Raw's commentary,
Roman had his belt hanging in the back.
Booker T would say something about it if Roman Reigns, let alone fucking Brock Lesnar, or if we need, forget it. Let's equate it. Let's just straight up equate it. If Alexa walked out for the segment with Asuka,
how does she do her opening with the belt without the belt?
What the fuck, man? It just made me so mad. It shows that it's just not. They don't think it's important, or at least not to the degree that they should. And if there ends up being a story about it in a week,
maybe she lost it, dude.
That's whack. I hope that's not what it is.
You know what I mean? Maybe I was saying maybe it's like a luggage thing.
Anyways, as we said before, when we talked about it before the show, just to cap that point off as well, it's fine when it's a smaller promotion, Ring of Honor debuting new titles, doing TV tapings that they knew were going to air late December, early January. Like, I get it. WWE, there's just no exception, no excuses. However, this does quickly bring, and this just every time. Look at that. We're on a nice 31-minute mark for fucking. Actually, you know what? No, this is a little longer for SmackDown, but to be fair, some more interesting stuff happened, especially that tag angle. So, anyways, we're already at the main event. We get quick previews of the 30-man Royal Rumble and first ever 30 women.
Buddy, you forgot about old Baron Corbin.
Yeah, I definitely did. I definitely forgot about it. All right. You know, when I saw the clip, the screenshot of the clip on Twitter, because I watched SmackDown late, I was working. I thought he got a haircut, and I was like, "Oh, it looks bad, but at least they're stepping that, they're walking towards the right thing." And then I saw the show this morning, and I was like, "Oh, that's right. He just looks bad. That's right. When his hair's wet because it's not supposed to be that long, or at the very least, so whatever he does with it, I'm not a hair person.
It's not supposed to be there because his head doesn't want it on there anymore.
It doesn't hang. It like wraps around the back. So yeah, it looks like it was cut at like his hairline in the back. Yeah. Anyways, yeah, you're right. Boring ass Corbin, just like Mojo Rawley, big dumb idiot. But
with the camera really close to his face for some reason, like extremely close.
They're both just hanging out. Oh no, I didn't forget about it. I did forget about it. It was after the Royal Rumble thing because I was going to go right to the main event. But no, I forgot about it now because it's in my notes in the order.
Rightfully so.
Anyways, yeah, this idiot talks. Who cares? He's in the Royal Rumble. He's not winning, people. So
nope.
And I know obviously that goes for a lot of other guys. I'm not just trying to dumb down, wrestling logic or anything like that, or lack of wrestling logic. And I'm not saying you shouldn't believe in the guys you want to believe in. I just am pretty done believing in Baron Corbin unless they give him something directly exciting.
It's quite obvious that WWE is done believing in Baron Corbin, at least for right now, with what's
seemingly
going on
obvious,
with him.
Yeah, for sure. So he's growling and showing something's wrong with his tooth, I'm pretty sure. He's got like a chipped tooth or something. AJ comes out. Daniel comes out. Shane comes out.
Everyone. Oh, I'll just.
No. Then we get Miz Superstar of the Year again on SmackDown.
You're about to get to it.
And then the boys come out, and this entrance just keeps getting better. Quick question, though. Oh, wait, no, go ahead.
I was just going to say, okay, so AJ comes out, Daniel comes out, Shane comes out. It comes back from commercial or the Royal Rumble thing or the Miz thing, and AJ's music's playing again.
Yeah, because that's just what they do.
Just a little time killer, like, hey, AJ's going to
must have been an accident in that Daniel Bryan and Shane probably should have came out first.
Yeah,
but
I was just curious because I don't think it's the wrong way.
The most major issue, especially because, dude, now, if anything, it shows the excitement of SmackDown's now live. My question is, because I did watch this part with no sound, I started to double up on 205 at this point. Okay. He still has his song. I didn't know if Sammy still had his own song.
No, that's one thing I did note, and I was like, Sammy came out to his song this time, And it was a little weird because I'm used to him coming out with KO's, song. But also it was still cool because it's like, all right, well, he's still
No,
got
they're
his...
their own guys. And obviously
Yep.
the angle that we're going to get at the end of this match that they're building for Rumble,
Yep.
obviously some division is coming in the near
Absolutely.
future. And I cannot wait.
Well, yep.
So this match is good. We get some more recap stuff, just basically fully letting you know the trouble going on here because it is confusing if you're not fully watching. The match is awesome. Surprise.
So good.
AJ.
Yeah. Well, who would have thought that the guy that could wrestle the whole time and one of the best that they've ever had could wrestle good together?
Man, they killed it. Great match. A lot of distractions on the outside. Don't know that they were all necessary.
Yeah,
and that kind of goes back to it's just this storyline is very cloudy, however you want to put it. But all in all, what's it called? This build is just continuously getting cooler. That's really all I'm getting at. Is even if it's a slow build, which I can appreciate and enjoy, even if it leaves for confusing spots week to week, and again, it leaves for that's really what we were mainly talking about. There's a lot going on. I think it's okay for once that there is. I just think that at certain points of this specific match and in-ring encounter, it took away from the fact that two awesome guys were in the ring and probably could have just tore the house down while furthering the story without all of that stuff. With that said, the stuff on the outside was cool. What did you think of it? You want to maybe talk the specifics of it? Because I think I didn't write it all down.
Well, most of my stuff is very move specific. Like you said, like you noticed, AJ with the big getting the backdrops. Sammy hit him with one.
Yeah, he must like let people know before they work. Like, hey, I'm cool
let's
with
hit
the back body drop.
Because man, it was a big one. It was good.
He does the whole reach. He does the whole reach thing, like as he's flipping.
Yeah,
that's great.
Sammy hit a beautiful fisherman buster.
Yeah, I saw that.
That's just that. I was really stuck. Like I said, this is very move specific stuff. AJ with a pretty badass pump handle gut buster. He does that often, but Sammy just sells really.
Yeah. This was
Sammy sells it really good.
all
of it really, really good match. Like I think Sammy is super underrated as a wrestler. I think they're finally giving him time to shine, and more so now he's in
definitely
the ring
more time to shine for sure.
Yeah, and now he's getting in the ring with guys that he should be and have been wrestling the whole time.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because he did, get buried into the side with nothingness for a while, and it kind of, I think it affected his growth. But now, I mean, it doesn't matter. He's hit this point where it can only go up.
Absolutely.
But all that really kind of leads up to the ref getting, pushed outside, and I guess Kevin is checking on him is what's going on.
It's what he says he's doing, yes.
Yeah, it's what he says he's doing, but obviously...
But he's really, AJ's got Sammy rolled up, just like he had Kevin rolled up, but the distraction this time is Kevin keeping the ref out of the ring. Shane's furious, because again, him and Daniel Bryan are fucking ringside.
Yeah.
They still do a near fall, which I like, when the ref gets in. Just makes AJ look strong, and Sammy's just
and
the
it was
best.
definitely believable.
Sammy's the best. So then at that point, Shane's pissed, and he wants Owens thrown out. And Daniel Bryan, I skipped ahead to
Daniel Bryan, Kobe Bryant's brother.
I meant to emphasize the word want. Daniel Bryan wants to throw out Shane.
Which it's like I don't want to say lame, but it's like it's a part of the story, and I get it, but also it's like, okay.
I think it's the beginning of the more direct turn.
Yes.
As well as the announcement after the match, because at this point, is Kevin getting walked out, or is it just Shane?
I believe Shane's kind of looking at Daniel and just kind of, doing that Shane look that we love to comment on so much sometimes. But then I think they're both getting escorted out at this
Someone's
point.
on the ramp. I think Shane's on the ramp.
I think it's supposed to mirror what happened last week. They're both on the ramp when this happens.
Right, exactly. So they're both on the ramp. AJ's looking off, but he happens to be right in front of the turnbuckle.
He's complaining about the interference.
He gets a haluva kick. I just know he was looking towards the ramp.
Yeah.
He gets the haluva kick. It's fantastic. Drops down on his back. 1, 2, 3. Sammy's showing the right level of excitement to be pinning the WWE champion. Owens and Zayn on the ramp, celebrating, just looking like a bunch of thugs just got away with it. And then AJ grabs the mic and I guess the angle is out of anger type thing after being screwed 2 weeks in a row. He directly points a finger at Daniel, says, I don't even know whose side you're on anymore. But I could basically just gets around to saying I could beat the two of these guys at the same time. And he's talking directly to them at this point. I could beat the two of you at the same time in a handicap match. And I guess him saying that directly is supposed to be obviously the setup for what gets announced, but more specifically, it's supposed to be him not speaking logically because he's so mad. Like, I could beat you with my hands tied behind my back.
And he's also, like,
setup.
falling to the ground because he's literally just off of a match.
Yeah, because the match is... And he got kicked. Yeah. He got the haluva kick. So,
yeah, so he's staggered.
Daniel goes and grabs... And I believe he stands on the announcer table, too.
He does that after.
Okay, so goes and grabs the mic over there. It says, and that's what it'll be at the Royal Rumble. Handicap match, Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens versus AJ Styles. Does he say for the WWE Championship?
I can't say 100%, but I'm pretty sure that's what he said. And I think that's why I thought the division thing was gonna be.
No, I know that's what was announced, but I'm saying watching back this morning.
I'm pretty sure he does.
I don't know that he said it. I could have just missed it. I'm sure I just missed it if that's the case. But
I think he does because I thought about it real hard, like a second after.
Well, I saw it on my phone, so that's how I initially found out. Like the announcement was, and I thought it was great. It's obviously setting up for some divide, and that's good stuff. This SmackDown was again sitting in its regular 8 level. Only not a 9 because outside of maybe the Woods English matchup, nothing super extraordinary as far as in-ring. A lot of build stuff, but good quality build stuff. So
that's why it keeps its consistent score because it never stops the build. Whereas sometimes Raw does lose that.
Well, at least
effect.
right now it keeps its consistent score.
Yeah,
SmackDown definitely, previous to us starting this podcast, SmackDown, as you've said before, was slacking a little. But I'm quickly just going to pull up the 205 Live results, and we're just going to go over them because we don't really have the time. We need to get to the New Japan stuff, and then, So
I mean, I have.
Yeah, but I'm just gonna go over the quick stuff. ESPN has some reports. Goldust is the booking replacement of Enzo Amore in terms of Cedric was supposed
the big
to.
Name.
Yeah, Cedric was supposed to get a title shot. He got Goldust as a tag partner. They obviously just skipped past Goldust being a heel after he turned on R-Truth. That was months ago.
Yeah,
and
while still wearing the same attire, even though it's just a look back at old attire.
Right.
That was the idea.
Right. It's a tag match, rematch from Raw. Gulak and Daivari versus Alexander and Goldust, which is a good idea because it hasn't been done like enough to say it's been done before. But I don't know, 2 nights in a row. What the fuck?
Yeah.
Goldust didn't seem to have a particular role here. TJ Perkins returned.
Very cool.
Beat Tazawa. Cool, weird to see Tazawa lose 2 weeks in a row. But not a huge deal. Just saying, kind of weird.
I mean, first cruiserweight champion comes back. I would expect it.
Gallagher being on his own, I think, is a okay thing. He has the strength. Needs to get out of the Butler gear, but he's the man. He wrestled Pete Dunne recently for Progress Wrestling in the UK title match, and he wore awesome dark green kind of sparkly tights and black wrap on his hands. No shirt. Looked dope. But he did use a loaded umbrella to take down Itami before the match. I'm reading here. Yeah.
Basically just beats him
nothing
down.
Big.
Nope.
Let's see. That's kind of it, right?
Yeah, after all you had was Tozawa, TJP. TJP got the win, looking cool, coming back with some dark gear and whatnot. Then you had Gallagher beating down Hideo with the pipe that was in the umbrella, and then after that you had Goldie and Cedric versus.
Right. Okay. See, I started for the main event. My fault.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was it. Nothing special. Definitely no rating. Love Gulak. Nothing new here. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Huge week, huge night. I am working right as we finish this podcast, which means guess what? The upload time of this podcast changed from its start to before its end. It's definitely going to go up late Thursday, but no. Or rather, late Wednesday night, early Thursday, I should say. But no later, earlier, however you're looking at it, than the start time of what we're about to talk about, which is the one, the only Wrestle Motherfucking Kingdom.
Kingdom.
This one being the 12th installment of the fucking awesome January WrestleMania-esque show. It has been my favorite way to start my new year for the last 4 years now. And I just highly recommend even if you don't plan on watching New Japan from here on or ever again, watch this fucking show.
You can just treat it like just watching WrestleMania.
Because
that's all you watch. But
exactly, good.
Yeah.
That's a good point. I didn't even mean it that way, but that's a very good point.
Yeah, you can treat it like that if that's how you watch.
So this show is kicking off at 4 p.m. technically Japan's time, or 5 p.m. for the actual pay-per-view, but 4 p.m. is the New Japan Rumble, the opening match. Or I think there's actually some preview stuff and then the opening match. Be. If you want to get caught up on all this stuff and only have so much time today, New Japan has this awesome on their YouTube channel. They have an awesome preview video. Eric, I recommend you check it out if you aren't as up to date on the card as you'd like to be. They got a bunch of little preview package videos for each match, and they just let you know.
Which they've gotten real good with lately too. Is their packaging?
It's Kevin Kelly, Rocky Romero, and this guy named Mark. I can't remember his last name. Sitting in a room next to a ring. It's awesome stuff. Very ESPN feel, but still with the New Japan budget, which I personally like when you can see that it's lesser. So this is going to be Thursday, January 4th. Technically, however you look at your night or the way you spend your time, that is the technical time, but it will be late tonight. Thursday, January 4th, 2 a.m. Eastern Coast, or East Coast time, 3 a.m. for the actual show. The motherfucking Tokyo Dome. Every match on this show has a 60-minute time limit. Obviously, that's not to say at all that they will go 60 minutes, but good goddamn for a company that still, places quality, values. That's the word I was looking for. Yeah. Sorry. Values their match-specific notes like a time limit. I'd go to bet that Jericho Omega Endor Naito Okada could easily go full 60. So, or close.
We've watched, Kenny do it before. I think it was Kenny Okada went
60 minutes.
Yeah, so there.
So Royal Rumble or New Japan Rumble, similar to the Royal Rumble to open it up, but they can be pinned, submitted, not thrown over the top.
I do like that factor just because it makes
something
it interesting.
Different. I think it's 22 instead of 30.
Yeah, I don't think it's 30.
I could be wrong though. I know Billy Gunn was in it last year. I'm banking. My first Wrestle Kingdom prediction is he is in it this year. IWGP Junior Tag titles on the line. Roppongi 3K versus the Young Bucks. That's our first match. God knows how many Wrestle Kingdoms in a row the Bucks are opening up with what we know will be one of the best parts of the night and one of the best tag team matches you see all year. And considering we're 3.5 days into the year, that's really saying something as far as when this match will air or go up. This Roppongi team is fucking awesome. Shown formerly Tempura Boys, Ring of Honor. Rocky is not managing. He is, I believe the word they're using is facilitating or something.
Yeah,
they're saying something about him from the outside. I can't remember what they're saying, but I like it. It's as specific as Paul Heyman's advocacy rather than management of Brock Lesnar, and I like that. Roppongi 3K's champions coming in against the Bucks. I am always picking the Bucks at Wrestle Kingdom, especially in a one-on-one.
You think they'll get the?
No,
yeah.
I think the Bucks just took off the last half of 2017, told Japan we won't be back for a little while, around July or August.
Yeah.
4 or 5 months ago now. Roppongi 3K won the tag junior tag team tournament. They won the tag team titles. I don't know. I just think that these are some of the largest grossing wrestlers, not even just right now, but of all time. I think you need to, as New Japan Pro Wrestling. As far as they can see it, I think you need to go where the money is. No one's tired of the Bucks yet. Just saying.
That's true, and especially them.
They don't need to stay champions for a while either. But guess what? When they win, it's either 5, but I believe it's 7 times.
I think it's 7. It's 7.
Yeah, it's 7 time. Yeah, 7-time champions if they win. It's that the Usos are 5-time champions, and lately I've been comparing the Usos and the Bucks, just out of the sheer enjoyment of.
I just know the up and coming of Roppongi 3K is pretty hyped, so
listen,
I wouldn't be surprised.
If they beat them, that's fine. This isn't a prediction no, this needs to happen. I'm just almost always going with the Bucks at Wrestle Kingdom. So, Young Bucks, no doubt about that. I don't know if this is the card order. I think it is, but this is from CBSSports.com. Never openweight 6-man tag title match. Fucking Bullet Club, some of the best parts of Bullet Club, and my fucking guy, Tama Tonga, his brother, Tangaloa, however you prefer to say it in the Asian pronunciation. And, of course, the big homie, the underboss, Bad Luck Fale, the new never openweight 6-man tag team champs. But this is a gauntlet match, so they are versing members of Chaos, which we know is going to feature Taka Michinoku. I don't know who else. I just don't want to speculate and be wrong. Not sure who it's going to be.
I mean, there's plenty to choose from.
The pairing of Michael Elgin and War Machine, which, whew, that's a Wrestle Kingdom team right there.
I mean, that's just a scary team anywhere you go.
If the speculation of War Machine going to NXT is true, what a way to go out.
Absolutely.
Suzuki Gun in the match. You know that means my boy Zack Sabre Jr. is going to be there.
Love me some Suzuki Gun.
Yeah, I love the whole team, but goddamn love Zack Sabre Jr.
Oh, absolutely.
On the quick and Taguchi, the team of Taguchi Japan will be in there. I know obviously the Funky Weapons in the match. I don't know who else is on that team, so I'm a little not acknowledged as I should be. You know what? Go watch that package video. I bet it's in there.
Yeah,
it was
it'll
just
be
one
in
of the
there,
parts
most
I was making my breakfast or eating my breakfast while watching. But and then quick note of Zack Sabre Jr. Saw him a couple weeks ago, as I've mentioned in previous episodes, at an Evolve show, and January 13th in Queens. He's defending the Evolve title against Darby Allin, who I found out about for the first time. I'm new to Evolve. Found out about a lot of their guys for the first time when I went to their show, or really found out a lot of the guys that I had known that were going to be on the show that worked. I didn't realize were going to be there. Like Keith Lee, I had heard about from some guy I met in the UK who I guess had seen him wrestle over there, and he just sent me matches. Walter, the other big guy I saw. And anyways, a lot of these guys, if not all of these guys, Matt Riddle, I'd see Matt Riddle all over the fucking internet.
Yeah.
Had no idea like where he was wrestling, didn't realize it was primarily Evolve. So if you're into that, please, check out Evolve. They're awesome. Like I said, January 13th, I'm going to a 6 show in Queens. And if you can't make it to that one and you're in the New York area, the next night there's one in Brooklyn, which obviously would seemingly make more sense for me.
Yeah, for you, but
I work Saturday morning, Sunday night. So for the sake of not having to move shit around, and I want to see Zack Sabre Jr. defend the Evolve against this guy, Darby Allin. Eric, you got to check him out, man.
Yeah.
Had the match of the night.
I need to get my feet wet in the Evolve.
Yeah, they're on Fight, man.
I've been meaning to.
You know what? Hey, guys, these events that I'm talking about are on Fight TV, just like Ring of Honor.
Yep.
I think like $15. You can buy them and probably
it's actually a whole. I noticed how
replay.
much easier it is to keep up with stuff between Fight and that other one that I was a Global Wrestling Network or whatever it was. I've been using that a little bit. Makes it a lot easier to keep up with some of these smaller.
Yeah, we're going to be definitely investing in the High Spots Network for the same reason in the coming future, so we can kind of keep up with CZW stuff a little more. And
I really want to keep up with stuff like that, CZW more specifically. I would love to be able to keep up with
because that's where Gulak came from,
Yeah.
like we and Ambrose was big
Ambrose,
there. Harper was big there. So, anyways, back to Wrestle Kingdom. I just wanted to go on my tangent about Zack Sabre Jr. because I love him, and if I do see him in Queens like I'm planning to this time. I had $7 last time. I will have my full $10, and I'm getting this little trading card from him, and that will be awesome. Yeah, they're very cool. I'm also waiting on my suplex crate that I got for Christmas, so that's exciting.
Jealous.
Yeah,
been meaning to get one.
We'll see what it is. So that's the Never Openweight 6-man tag. Again, gauntlet match, so it's going to be one team's eliminated, the next one enters.
Love the gauntlet over there.
Yeah, sometimes I
like it too.
They're a little confusing, but yeah, I was going to say I like them too. And in this case, generally the champions get the advantage rather than not. Sometimes they don't, but generally they do. So hopefully that means the boys. I'd like to see the boys come out on top.
Oh yeah, they're fresh. They're fresh on the win of the titles. So
and obviously in terms of my opinion, there's a lot of title alignment I'd like to see, which probably means it's not all going to happen. But I don't care because I'm literally just giving I'd like to see this, and I'll give actual review stuff after I see it. But I'd like to see the Bucks win this, win their match, and then I'd like to see these guys win this so that Bullet Club is looking nice. Next match is going to be Cody versus Kota Ibushi, which I mean, on any other show, this is the main event, people.
If you're not foaming. This show has promoted 2 main events in Alpha Omega and obviously Okada Naito, but so many of these matches, so many of these matches are huge. I've seen more about Cody in this match than I have seen about some of the other.
Well, this match definitely was supposed to be bigger too. It was supposed to be for the Ring of Honor title, but Cody dropped it. Yeah. One of the big reasons for the record and on my wrongful prediction of Final Battle, that's one of the reasons I thought Cody would win. So just putting that out there. It doesn't take anything away from it other than I would have liked to see that new beautiful belt in the Tokyo Dome, but
yeah, would have been cool.
What are you going to do? Doesn't matter. This is going to be a great match. Blonde American Nightmare first.
I'm hoping he turns it up this year with that whole looking idea thing.
Oh, yeah, and apparently the build to it, at least from CBS Sports, this totally could be a misinterpretation because things like ESPN and major level things like that, they kind of get the wrong ideas sometimes. But the build here says, as Cody duels with Kenny to be seen as the true leader of the Bullet Club, which is pretty true as far as the last time Cody was in Japan.
They had that little bit of
He goes
tension.
up against Omega's former tag team partner in Kota Ibushi, one of the most exciting wrestlers in New Japan. And I think that's pretty cool, whether it's inaccurate information in terms of the build or not. Because
Either
back
way,
when
it's still a
Kenny
cool
was
idea.
video game Kenny Omega, he was with Kota Ibushi, and that's pretty fucking cool.
Yeah.
So the rivalry between these two began in November after Ibushi lost Intercontinental title match to Tanahashi, and Cody came out and mocked him. That's kind of what initially made this set out to be for the Ring of Honor title, but then once Cody lost it, it just became a special single match. It's how it's being billed. Nothing wrong with that, because it's exactly what it goddamn is. The real story here is Cody going to keep dominating since losing the title? Him not being champion going to affect him lose?
Or do they give him that little stint of, like, going down?
And I think the bigger
After
Japanese
the loss.
storyline here that CBS Sports put, and is actually 100% right about, is Ibushi going to go over on Cody, because there's a torn audience right now with Kota Ibushi, because he left for NXT, threw away that deal, but did not come right back to New Japan.
Yeah.
He went and wrestled in Mexico and a bunch of other places. And then when he came back to New Japan, he immediately got put in an Intercontinental title picture. So a lot of people gained like why does this guy deserve it? Because,
a skewed kind of Naito situation.
It's
different. But
similar in where they went, but outside of that, no. Because what I'm saying is the Naito won people over by being an asshole. Kota Ibushi lost people kind of simply just by traveling, but by not being elaborate enough and saying like, "Oh, I'm just traveling, guys." It makes him look like he's like a company guy. He comes in, and he gets placed wherever he wants. So point being, expect if he does win, the possibility of boos or a dislike, because obviously
and
Tokyo
more so
Dome
the hype
reacts
of
differently.
Bullet Club and just Cody in general. Even over there, he's still.
But for that same reason, a lot of Bullet Club tonight, and someone's got to lose.
Some of Blue Club's got to lose.
So maybe it's a 6-man, and maybe it's the Bucks. Who knows? So then we get to the heavyweight tag team titles, Killer Elite Squad, which when they took it off of War Machine, other than War Machine moving on to greener pastures, maybe such as NXT and other things like that, I just didn't really think much of it. Didn't think it was bad. I love those guys both, but I just thought, oh, that's weird. Now kind of seeing that's being billed, Sonata and Evil versus them, and expecting Sonata and Evil to take it, not only just because I love them, but
they
just
beat a lot of people too in between.
They won the World Tag League tournament as well, and so I just which obviously that's what got them this opportunity. Not to mention they were the former 6-man tag champions, so I think the writings on the wall is there, and again coming back around to my point that I mentioned earlier, this can just make us look forward to a full Los Ingobernables lineup of champions. Hey, man, if stables are what's working, they were what's working. And in Japan, Los Ingobernables
they clearly work.
Is bigger than Bullet Club. And the only thing bigger than WWE in the wrestling world is Bullet Club. So you got to think about all those things on a scale.
You got to think of how
just
big
one or
that
the other.
means it is.
Yeah, it's all this. So you got to, in my opinion, in Japan's booking role, other than doing obvious things, that's the main reason I don't think all the Bullet Club can win and all the Los Ingobernables. Like, if people have to lose, I get it. But all in all, I don't think there's anything wrong with putting championships on the people that make you the most money and have the most exposure.
And even more so, thinking of like if let's say they win and Naito pulls it off, that's massive,
huge. And I hope he does. Hope he
absolutely.
does. Goddamn, rooting for Naito. But we're gonna get there. Never open weight title match. It's also a hair versus hair match. Minoru Suzuki and his strip of back head hair.
That little bit.
With his title, he is the champion versus Hiroki Goto, who I just like the physicality of. He's very Roman Reigns-esque, and obviously he came before, so Roman Reigns is very Goto-esque. But just in the way of like to fans who maybe don't know as well, punch, like strike, like just physical tackle, like just. I like him a lot. Good. This match is gonna be awesome. It's gonna be physical as fuck.
It's gonna be one of those like cringy
and someone's
matches.
getting their fucking head shaved.
Yeah, someone's
good stuff.
Someone's losing some hair and someone's getting hit real hard.
Yep, and I think I felt like this. Oh yeah, right. So they already had a title rematch because Goto lost his title to Suzuki. They already had a title rematch and he lost, but recently in a tag match, Goto pinned Suzuki, and they had a confrontation and that put him back in contendership and then Goto offered to put his hair on the line. I see. In order to get the opportunity.
Yeah.
That's the
kind
step
of like
up.
a
So
trade-off.
fair to absolutely assume it's going to be Goto taking the strap and Suzuki's going to shave his little strip. Because obviously he can just grow it back and continue to shave the rest of his head like he does. Now one of the other could be a main event if it wanted to. For Fatal 4-Way IWGP Junior Heavyweight title match. And I know they're all IWGP, but this one in particular feels like it should be prefaced. Marty Scurll, the champion, which CBS Sports has incorrectly spelled as Marty Scurll. Scroll. Marty Scurll, the champion, versus Will Ospreay versus Kushida versus Takahashi. Like, good God, man.
This could just be a main event for Wrestle Kingdom. It just could be a main event anywhere. This is so gonna be something stacked.
And it's a culmination of a lot of rivalries between Will taking it, or I should say more commonly, shortly referred to, Ospreay taking it off of Kushida when nobody kind of expected to. Marty Scurll quickly taking it off of there, and then Takahashi having his own ill will with a long against Ospreay, as well as like a very, very long rivalry with Kushida. That's a direct quote from CBS Sports, because that's a good way to put that. Ill will against Ospreay, because it's a tie-in, but it's not.
And then his most recent banter with Marty.
Right. I forgot about that.
Yeah, the finger thing, and just so great.
Right. So that's going to be great. Expect all these matches to steal the show. But then as we move along, Intercontinental title on the line, Tanahashi, the one of 100, versus a new Jay White in Switchblade.
God.
I think we could see a real put-over situation here. I think Tanahashi might put Switchblade over. I think that's also good reason to believe that Okada will not be putting Naito over, but it's just a thought.
Yep.
And it could go vice versa as well, because
yeah.
Switchblade doesn't necessarily need to beat Tanahashi. I just feel for a debuting quote-unquote character, it's a good way to get going. And Tanahashi's
even more so in Japan,
he's getting to the Cena level. Well, he's getting to the Cena level where he doesn't need to win to be who he is who he is. He brought this company out of a rut years ago. He was the man for a long time, and he's already been taken off his throne by Okada. So it's different now.
Yep.
But he is one of the top, and it makes the match one of the best at the top, and it's gonna it makes the match even more high profile than it would be for a debuting Switchblade at the Tokyo Dome anyway. So excited for that match. Then of course we get into the double main event, no DQ match, U.S. Heavyweight Championship match between Kenny Omega, the champion, Chris Jericho, the Alpha. Oh, good Lord! This story has been the best told wrestling story in recent years, if not the past 10 years. It's no DQ, so there's going to be blood, people. Jericho has mentioned so many times
you have to expect.
He wants to work this 80s style, not just for that one build and for that one magazine shot. They want to do, if you're watching Jericho outside of WWE, you're going to see Jericho outside of the WWE. You're not going to see the same material.
There'd be no point to not go completely outside of what WWE would let him do.
Expect the Lion Tamer versus the Walls of Jericho, in my opinion. Just a lot of rough shit. A lot of good, rough stuff. So again, if it's no DQ, man, I said it in our pre-show conversation, Okada Omega by WWE standards and most wrestling company standards was basically all their matches, especially the 60-minute draw, were basically no DQ matches. Okay, better example, Naito Omega G1 Finals was basically a no DQ match. This is a literal no DQ match in New Japan between Kenny Omega, who just bled for the first time ever, and Chris Jericho, who probably to return the favor, who never really bleeds as well. Is gonna bleed because he can't in WWE. Oh man, this is gonna be fucking crazy, people.
There's no this is that it's not a joke. It's not. This is history. This is gonna be fucking massive.
And this is just such a dream match on more levels than one. And really, for me personally speaking, I love Chris Jericho, and I know I'm not alone in that. But I'm just saying, I'm 5'7". My whole life I've watched wrestling, and Jericho's one of those guys I always felt I could relate to. His father was a Ranger. He's a weird mix of being born in New York City, but he's Canadian. He's a double. Just a real, I don't like Fozzy as far as I listen to music, but I think it's cool. He's a rock and wrestling guy. He's super relatable. And then of course to kind of generationally meet, even though he's not that much older than Kenny, just in terms of fandom, generationally have the two best wrestlers in the world at their respective times, whether that was believed or not about Jericho when it was true.
First undisputed champ, he just definitely is.
Yeah, man, this is awesome. This is important, and at the very least, you motherfuckers, wake up at 4 a.m. and watch this fucking match. Yeah. New Japan World subscription is less than $9.99, and when you convert the yen to dollars, we're talking about $8.89 a month.
Seriously, very, very affordable.
And you can English commentary on almost every pay-per-view. If not, for the record, culture yourself a little bit. The shit is great with Japanese commentary, and I mean that.
So good.
But if you're watching Wrestle Kingdom, and especially with foreigners in this double main event, in these American guys, listen with the English commentary and enjoy, because Kevin Kelly and Don fucking Callis, who's also tied into this story, who also just purchased Impact Wrestling, so who knows what holds the future as far as Bullet Club involvement over there. And talked about the possibility of making it a purely Canadian company, which who knows? We're talking, the future of that company, even if it has gone through failed reinventions over and over again. Just this is like the first, and very necessarily so, first important page of this very important wrestling year. So watch this shit, and then of course, oh my God, the main event, and it is the main event. And despite all that praise I just gave Jericho and Omega, and
that's how much, that's how big
deserves,
this is,
and will deserve even more after. That's how big this is right. Okada has been champion since last fucking March, June,
for so long,
560 plus days. He beat Naito for the title last June. Naito's reign was the shortest since 2009 at only 70 days long. Dude, this is it. It's time. This Tranquilo, however he personally says it, because I know he uses the Mexican pronunciation, persona, he's got to run with it, and they need to push it to the top. It's there. It's actually there in NWO. I'm not taking anything away from the creativity of Finn when he was there and all the guys who are still there doing the Bullet Club, but the fact of the matter is the Bullet Club does reuse stuff. Los Ingobernables.
This is like its own
and you're wrong. I know it's an extension of the the stable that Andrade Cien Almas actually started in AAA, just Los Ingobernables. But this extension of it, De Japón, and that specific pronunciation, Mexican pronunciation of their own country, and all that it stands for, being ungovernable, and the disrespect towards the title, but all of these tactics being used.
It just is their own.
Being used essentially in reverse, because it just made people love these guys. And it's created careers out of Sonata, only recently becoming a more serious threat. It's given more of a wow factor to guys who were maybe just seen as a certain other way in Evil. Bushi.
Oh man, I love Bushi. I'm so.
But the bottom
Bushi
line,
lately.
man, it's all about Naito. Naito is that company, and other than Okada, because obviously Okada is the best wrestler in the world right now. I want to see Naito beat the best wrestler in the world right now.
Absolutely.
To end Wrestle Kingdom 12. I think that is the right.
That would be the best way to do it, and on top of that, it takes nothing away from Okada, because no matter what, Okada is probably still one of the best wrestlers in the world under Kenny Omega right now. But Naito is But right now, Naito is slowly moving up those ranks and just taking over.
Big gold belt get fucking tossed.
Toss that thing, man. Just
Manhattan, dude. Oh, actually, no, that's just Ring of Honor. I'm sorry. I'm confused because last time I saw it was a War of the Worlds event. But still, the excitement when I went to that event last year of the toss that shit, and that was the Intercontinental title. This is the heavyweight title, and as I've said before, I think on the show and definitely off the show, I think that is the big gold belt of this day and age. So
absolutely.
Yeah, man, this show is going to be amazing. You have to watch it if you're a wrestling fan. You have to have, at least, if understandably so, if it's work scheduling or personal stuff conflicting, you got to watch the replay as soon as you can. You just got to see the show. It's going to be fantastic. With that said, we'll just cap it off quick. NXT and Ring of Honor stuff. Like I said, we covered it early. The Ring of Honor is a recap show. Go check it out. And as far as the NXT card, what was it? Was Shayna
she came out and choked out and after the fact.
We'll just do a preview of it.
No, that's not the. I'm saying from last week.
Oh, that was last week. I see. I'm sorry.
Yeah, gotcha. So I don't know exactly what they had dealt out.
Oh, it's today. It's today.
Yeah, it's today.
Duh, we're stupid. Okay, but still.
Well, no, that's what I'm saying. I thought you were previewing card situation.
I'm about to right now. We just normally are late
because we skipped
NXT.
Last week, so we didn't actually cover it.
Well, yeah, because whatever, it's fine. Is there an NXT tonight? I mean, I'm not finding a preview for it. What's today's date?
It should be. It's the 3rd.
The 3rd, right? Okay, here we go. Yeah, I don't know why it just didn't pop up right away. We'll just get a quick look at this card and then end the show. Lots of editing to do, and like I said, I got to run to work, but I'll get home to get the show uploaded tonight as I'm getting ready for Wrestle Kingdom. And as Joe's waking up, he goes to work every morning really early, so he's just waking up super early this particular morning and trying to watch the show with me, at least as much of it as he can.
I may try to do the same, but I don't know how well I'll pull it off.
Oh, you know what? I believe, NXT is doing the same thing. Look at that. We are so lucky. Look back at the year. But it is gonna feature some exclusive interviews with Almas and Gargano about their upcoming match at Takeover Philadelphia, and an announcement regarding NXT year-end awards. Never before seen footage of Drew McIntyre versus Adam Cole. That's exciting.
That's pretty cool.
and it says and more. So still check that NXT out. We'll have it mentioned. We'll have it mentioned in our weekend episode. But again, just like this episode has been, the weekend episode will heavily be revolved around the results of Wrestle Kingdom and talking about how fucking awesome of a show I just know it's going to be.
Yep.
WWE's looking bright for the next week or so at least.
For now.
We thank you for wasting a full 2 hours, 10 minutes with us. I think Joe's going to be bringing us in and out in the near future, but this song was definitely a worthy placeholder.
Worthy second.
Yeah, worthy placeholder for Joe while he's busy off doing other things. I have a busy week ahead of myself as well. I'm seeing the Killers this upcoming weekend. Giving myself a little late Christmas, having a good old month, and trying to get in as well, rather, on this post-WrestleMania pay-per-view announcement that I hear is in Newark, New Jersey. Trying to get tickets to that. I think it's going to be Payback, assumably so. But you never know. They change them year to year now. Yep. And if they do, I think me and Joe are going to try and go to that. Take the PATH train there.
Not bad.
Yeah, that's just about it. You got anything? It's cold as fuck here.
It's cold and rainy here. I mean, not as cold as there, but for Florida standards, it's like 30 degrees. It's like snowing in Tallahassee, like actual.
I saw that. Yeah, I saw that.
Snowing.
I have friends still living there. I can't believe that. Never snowed when I was living there.
Like, I believe it's like snowing all the way down to like Ocala. So it's
we've had snow and ice and all that horrible shit.
You have the real business.
Saturday is a high of 11, low of 4, and that is the brief weather report. Just wanted to let everyone know it's going to be bad in the Northeast and probably other places where it gets actually cold, like the actual North and the Midwest.
Canada.
Cannot even imagine. So, very excited for the show tonight. Watch it, unless you're a nerd. And we'll talk to you. We'll talk to you this weekend. Talk to you soon.
I mean, we have to, and we got nothing better to do.
We have to do it. But thanks so much. That was the show. Goodbye.
Goodbye.